What up, guys? It's me. I'm playing some PUBG. What's going on? Mexes will be on in a little bit because I know you guys are gonna ask. He'll be on in a little bit later, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We'll see. But what's going on, guys? What's up, admin toxic? No one's online yet. Dave's not online, so I'm not playing with him. Maybe if they go online, I don't know. We'll see. Alright, so let's get into it. So this is the line. I like jumping off in, like, you know, small areas, places that aren't too populated. Maybe it's more like this. So I'm gonna try to hit that right here. What up? Yeah, odd one out. Yeah, that does happen. But I'm sure that happens to everyone. I need to get uploaded. I have a video. Oh yeah, it's no problem. Sharp. What up, Aziz? Chicken. I know you, who you are, and I will find you. Isn't that from Taken? What up, Aaron? Clay. What's up? Crap, no one close to me. Ah, yeah, there's this guy. Damn it, I hate when people follow me. So I'll go over here. Crap, that probably means... Yeah, he's landing right now. Damn it, go down quicker. Yeah, Mexis should be online in like a little bit. 30 minutes maybe. Maybe less. I don't know though. Have I seen all the Taken movies? I think so. A long time ago. Pretty sure when they like came out. So, but not in a while. So, any other references besides that, I'm probably not gonna get. I don't know. Oh, crap. Nothing here. Oh, I might be dead. Because if that guy has a gun over there, crap. I gotta be careful. The last one came out in 2015. Damn it, close. Come on. What is that, firecracker? Nope, it's a can. Let me take that backpack. I just need a gun. Alright, there's one. Alright, sharp. Sounds good. Ooh. I hate how people can like peek around corners. I want to see if I can join a first-person server. Cause that's just kind of cheap, you know. Damn it, more shotgun. I'll pick up the 12 gauge. I need an assault rifle. I think I hear someone. Could be the TV upstairs. Damn it, nothing in here. No problem, saw you do that. Oh crap, I hear someone outside already. I gotta be careful. I'm like right in the center, which is a pretty big problem. There's a guy who's over there. Oh crap, was that a guy? Nope. Is it okay if he curses? Who? If he gets too out of hand, no. It's not okay. It's okay if you curse, but like when you start like forwarding it to a person, oh hell yes, SKS. When you start like attacking people, just kick them out. Oh yes. Oh, I'm good. I'm golden. For now. Crap. People shooting each other outside. Today was a busy day. I woke up 7:30, sprayed wheat, sprayed soybeans, cut the trees down. That sounds like the farmer's life. Okay. Might as well put this on here. Oh crap, I don't even know how far. Am I in the circle? Oh, I'm in the circle. I'm good. For now, at least. This area is very, very deadly. People get killed here all the time. There's already 40 people that died. I want to try to get into the first person. Is Mex yeah, he'll stream in a little bit, I think. I believe. Do I have Stream Deck? I don't know what that is. Let me know what it is. Jake trying to explain to your mom that you can't be. Yeah. After a while they get it though. Like my parents, like it's online, I can't, and they're like, oh okay. Still turn it off anyways. I don't care. That's usually their response. Crap. I feel so vulnerable here. I feel like I'm surrounded, which I probably am. Luckily I don't see any doors open. I hope I'm not sniped. Oh yeah, and Sergeant Sharp got his PC. Ah, crap. Crap. Damn it. I'm probably gonna try to sneak out the back. I'm thinking that guy's west. That's where I think he's getting me. Ooh, Red Bull. Let me drink that. Well, I have no idea where he is. Crap, I feel surrounded. I'm probably just gonna wait here for a bit. Crap, don't open that door. If I open that door, I give away my position. I hear a car. Let me turn the volume up. Oh man. This place is very, very bad. Oh crap. Alright, I'm out. I'm out of here. Hopefully that guy still thinks I'm in that house. I like how people come to your stream to see when Max is streaming. Yeah. It is what it is. It's fine. You get used to it. Frag grenade. Oops. Damn it. Bad door to open. Just gives away my position. Uh-oh. There's a car. Or a motorcycle. Oh god. I don't know where that guy is. But I hear shooting. As long as he doesn't come here, we're good. Oh god. Ah, this place is surrounded as hell. Stream Deck is a device where you can do any for streaming, like transition to Discord or Twitter, YouTube. Click a button. Oh yeah, maybe I'll look into that. Where's Mexis? He'll be on later. Heller, it's me. Thanks for the sub, King Angar. More V Hill, thanks. Where are your other friends, Gandhi? He's never awake this late. Cause he actually has like normal, like a big schedule with school and stuff. Oh crap! I'm still. Uh-oh. 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 Whoo! Oh, Jesus. That means my hollow can come up here. I want that. 9mm. I need a little bit of them. Damn. I need his first aid kit. It's that 2x scope. Is that better? Police vest level 1. I have police vest level 2. Jeez. No, I think PUBG's for Xbox. What up, Dante? Yeah, I remember you. It's been a while. 2x. Alright, I'll take it. I don't need it, but I'll take it. Oh, damn. That was nuts. That was nutty. I don't know if he left, like, the doors open. No, he closed them, thankfully. He jumped in through here, though, I think. Yeah, I do remember you, Dante. Yeah, I already know his name. You guys see that guy? For some reason that guy was just AFK there. Oh, this is a really good... yeah, I remember you. It's about Jake Paul's raps. Man. Oh god. What is that? What's the S? Oh crap. I'm getting freaking sniped. Where is he? Now he knows where I am. Crap. Get down, get down! Oh, crap. I cannot see him. I'm gonna need a med kit. Oh god, guys. I think I like Sphinx more than I like Sighted. Oh, there's a buggy there. Oh god. We'll stay here. There's a guy downstairs. Why am I not mod, Dante? Because you're not here too often, boy. That's why. I haven't seen you in like 3 months. I think he's waiting for me downstairs. What was that? God, there's people. Nexus is online. Oh my god, there's This is so annoying. Oh, that's so stupid. That is so dumb. So stupid. I shot him like 10 times. What the hell? Ah, freaking dumb. Stupid as hell. Is my voice on? Okay, no, it's push to talk. Jesus Christ. Ah! Lame. What is this? I want to do first person PUBG. How do I... Ah, they're solo. Hell yeah. I'll invite Mexus. Why isn't he on Discord? He's trying to do one of those weird... Oh, man. Damn it! Yeah, no problem. Touche what? I'm just waiting for one of you guys to accidentally say each other's real name so we can go on ancestry.com and find you. My name, odd one out in real life, is crap. What was it again? I don't remember. I don't remember what I was gonna say. Saw you do that. That means that your freaking cat is good luck. Oh, that is cool. Duo F first person. It's locked to first person. I'll just wait until he clicks ready. My name IRL is Thomas Andrew. Don't get out your full name, Sharp. Shroot. It's not Shrout. It's Shroot. You sound like a Cole and Mexa sounds like a... I don't think you guys could ever like guess my name. It's yeah, it's not very American. It's not American at all. I've never really heard anyone else with my name, so. Sphinx, what up? I've been alright, Aaron. Let me see if my friend Gandhi's online. Tommy? No. My name is not Tommy. My name's Dante. That's no problem, King Agar. Sorry, King Agar. Agar. Probably Agar. Wow. Most of you guys probably don't watch Game of Thrones, but Jesus Christ. Greggy? Really? Greggy. Not Greg, just Greggy. What the hell? He'll be on in a bit, Dark. He's gonna start a stream in a little bit. Tommy, nope. Tommy. I sound like a Tommy, really? I liked Cole better. Greggy, no. Is my name Helvete? Yes. Name is Damon. What up, Levente? Yeah, that's my cousin's. Your cousin's name is Gregory. Is that Gregory or Greggy?
Hey.
What up?
Hey, what's poppin', guys?
Is your stream
How's it
up?
going, Paul? Oh, I mean Sided Sphinx. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Oh God, I made a mistake.
Paul, really? You couldn't have come up with something cooler?
Give me
Paul.
Give me like 2-3 more minutes, okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Greggy. Jaraherd. Like a Noah or a Cole? It's not too bad. Your name is Mazi Fathic Goddess in the Third. Damn. It's a very exotic name. Oh, okay. I sound like a Cole and Mexa sounds like a Noah. Really? Why are these crates so freaking expensive? Look at this. Oh. Alright, I'll receive these. Oh, hell yeah. Or... Oh, I have to pay. Here I am trying to like receive them. Oh snap! Do I choose
Alright, what's popping?
or do I get all of this? Oh crap! Wow, is that rare?
Yeah, I'm sorry that I just leaked
Uh,
your actual name, Paul. I
yeah.
mean, Sphinx.
Yeah, good one.
God, not again. Hey, I'm gonna start my stream, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yo, I'm low-key kind of excited to play PUBG.
Yeah,
Do they have controller support yet?
I don't know.
I don't think they do. I mean, it did come out for Xbox now, didn't it? Or not yet?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. I remember they announced it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have it still.
I think it actually might be a while. Oh, whatever. I'll be able to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start it real quick.
Okay. Oh, that's cool, Aaron. Claus, what up, boy?
Ayo, what's poppin', guys? We're back with another live stream because we do stream almost every other day. Almost. I hope you guys had an absolutely blessed day because I know I did, and we're gonna be playing a little bit of PUBG.
Almost.
A little bit of a more laid-back stream. A little bit of, you know, it'd be really dope if me and Sphinx actually like try hard.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I mean like me.
Dang, dude.
And I don't like run away from Sphinx and all that, and we can like maybe
team.
actually win one, you know?
I wanted. They have these new
Yeah, fill me in on all the
first-person shooter.
Okay, how's it going, Optical Python? My boy is Zeus.
What up,
Dark Boss was the very first person here. I'm sorry, Hannah, you were not. Hannah, you were second. Pernil, how's it going, boy? Yes, Dark Lord. You were the very first. Oh, dang it. Aaron the Goat, you're freaking. I didn't do anything.
Wait, what? What did Aaron the Goat do?
Player unknown battlegrounds. Let's.
What are you talking about? Meeting you, Dante?
Maybe.
Alejandro. No.
A game.
Cold Handed. That is my name.
Thank you.
Out of all the freaking names, Paul. Oh yeah, Friday the 13th. Nice.
It's fixed. I changed it. And that's funny because I even changed my
Your game mode, just not the title.
No, I even changed my thumbnail. I just forgot about that. Alright, I'm ready to start. You ready?
Yeah. I literally. Oh, there we go.
There.
You could be Power
I'm
Rangers.
so tired of football practice at 6:30 in basketball.
Funny.
Yo, being a dual sport athlete is like the dopest thing ever.
What's dual sport athlete?
Like more than one sport. Dual.
Oh.
So
So
he
two
has
sports.
He has football practice and basketball practice.
Dang.
It's
So-
pretty gnarly. Yo, an odd one out just for you. I have said
Oh my eyes.
Sphinx's real name before in the stream. A few
Why
times
would you tell him
actually. We legitimately have days worth of gameplay. I doubt he's gonna watch everything.
And I'm pretty sure you can find Max's real name somewhere. I haven't said it, but
Yeah. But
I've
like
said too
the
much.
thing is, even with a first name, you're not really gonna find anything.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I wonder how many Mexuses
Yeah.
live in LA, you know?
Yeah. That is true.
Like, you won't find much.
Yeah.
Sphinx is on phone and PS4 and Mexus on iPad. Yep. Yep.
Oh snap.
Alright,
What? Okay.
I
so we're
can't
coming-
actually hear audio out of my game.
Yeah, for some reason mine was a little bit like that too. Miguel, it's not. Maxis is Miguel now.
F is dropping, right?
Yeah, F is dropped.
Alright, you tell me when, boy. You are my F is dropping. I meant eject.
Yeah.
And you know, what high school did you go to, and what is the year you graduated?
And
That really narrows it down.
Drop. Do you see the waypoint?
No. But
My
I'm
name
heading
is-
Actually, yeah, I do. Yeah. I do.
My real name is Chris Hansen.
How far am I from the waypoint?
Nexus equals Jordan. Just like these little houses we can scour. Hopefully there's no one like above us.
I feel like I'm hella far from you. Oh, no, I'm not.
Oh,
there's a lot of people at those houses. I'm gonna go to these houses over here. Do you see them? You go to those two.
Alright, yeah. I'm not gonna go to that big structure next to me.
Yo, Fox Gaming, send it to me on Facebook and I'd be more than happy to check it out.
Oh, I can't look down.
Yeah, neither can I. But they do updates like all the time on this game, right?
I want the new map already. Is my name Spencer?
There's a new map? Oh god, first person?
Yeah, it's stuck to first person. The good news is that there's no like corner peeking, which people have like freaking perfected in this game.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm not good enough for first person.
I feel like I'm not good enough for the other one either. So.
I just grabbed a weapon and I can't see it. I don't like this.
What do you mean you can't see it? Why? I click reload. Oh, I'm not hitting the thing.
There we go.
What do you mean? What was going on?
I couldn't see the weapon.
Alright.
And I don't hear any audio either, so I'm gonna have to fix that in one sec. How's it going to Electric Games? Of course I do. That boy. What's up, my dog?
Isn't Chris Hansen that guy from
yeah. The one that catches pedophiles.
Yeah. Yeah. To catch a predator. I'm actually British. Is Otto not British? Oh god, yeah, this is weird running around without.
Yeah.
I feel so vulnerable not being able to see like such a high peripheral vision. But nobody else can. Ah, 2 AKs. Alright, I'll take this one to you. I have 2 AKs. I'll give you one. Alright.
Alright. Oh god, I'm like, I don't know how to play right now. That's how bad I'm doing.
Really? Not bad. I don't know how to play.
Like, I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable with the controls.
How much money do I earn from YouTube? None. 0 buckos. Bucko.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh, we're right in the zone, by the way. Well, at least
not good.
Yeah. I'll go towards you. I'm heading towards you. I'm gonna try to take the. It's Alejandro. It isn't. Alejandro. Whose? Mex's or mine?
I do have a Facebook. It's in my description.
Otto not wants to know what the bakery's name next to the school is. He still remembers that one.
The bakery / diner.
That I haven't even been there, but I know what it is. It's stuck to first person. Everyone is stuck to first. Yeah. All right, Dante. If you.
Oh God, I look freaking sexy right now.
How can you see your character? Oh.
I'm in my menu.
Yeah. My internet is turning off. Yeah, fix that. All right, I have an AK for you. Let me put it upstairs. Cause I mean, I don't need 2 AKs. Where are you? Oh.
Right here. I really don't have much. My practice starts hella early. I get you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Red dot.
Yeah. I might actually take this off.
If you tell me your name, I will send cookies, donuts, cupcakes, chicken nuggets, hamburgers. Or you could send me poop, you know, so.
Damn. Yeah. You've always been more of a poop guy.
Who?
You.
Yeah.
Alright. I'll follow you. I don't feel comfortable at all. God, I took way too long to just loot that one place.
Oops. What did I take?
I can't get in here. What?
Yeah, this game's a bit janky.
Okay. First aid kit. Do we need gas? No, right?
Nah. Take that first aid kit though. Okay, we're in the area, so we're good. Just we have to be a little bit careful for like stragglers coming up on the sides.
What's Electric saying?
Oh crap! Is that you?
Brother and I make mercy for growing YouTubers.
Ah,
mercy
my eyes.
Or merch?
Mercy.
Oh God, the doors are like not opening now. Like the animation they open.
Yeah.
But they're not actually opening.
They're opening fine for me. There's a bakery, patisserie. No.
Like right now, does this look open?
It's a big chain. Let me see. No, it looks closed.
On mine, it's opening.
Maybe it's.
And then, like I'm having to open every single door twice.
That's weird. Ooh, vertical foregrip.
Yeah.
I have 2 vertical foregrips. I don't need 2.
I think I might be able to take one and use it.
No, you can't. If it's for the AK, no.
Oh, never mind.
Oh man, I love the red dot. It's just
So
a
do
little
I.
tiny dot you need. Nothing
That doesn't
else.
seem.
Nothing else.
Oh, well, it's fine. You're fine. You're fine, Fox. Don't worry. Don't worry. He's talking about the character, not me. Alright. I'll follow you, boss.
Okay, I'm looking at my map. What do you think? Should we move anywhere? There's gonna be stragglers coming in. So.
I feel like we should cross that bridge as soon as possible.
Well, let me see. What
It's
if it
gonna
doesn't?
screw us.
What if we cross and we don't?
I feel like it is. But if you don't want to, that's fine.
All right, let's
It's
get
just
close
you.
to it at least. You know.
That's so dangerous.
This one is safer in my opinion though. Or
I'll have-
no, it is. The airplane came from the top right down, right?
Yeah.
So we want to go to the other less populated bridge because everyone
Yeah.
drops out. Okay. All right, let's go. We have
Oh god.
just be careful because we're right on the border. There's gonna be people trying to like sprint to us. We need tree cover. That's our best friend.
Well, we shouldn't run. I mean, we're running on the outside of the border. Don't you want to run like towards inside?
Oh yeah. I wasn't even looking at my map. I was just trying to look for the closest tree cover. Oh, I hear trees.
You got it, Sergeant Sharp. You got it, Thomas.
Yeah, Aaron, you got it.
Yo, I'm gonna have to start to learn how to edit.
Yeah.
I've got till the 22nd to learn. At least learn basic skills.
Yeah, okay. I know how to edit. It depends on what you're gonna use that I can help you.
What?
I'm probably gonna use Premiere Pro.
I believe. What do you think my high school used? Because I took a video production class and I edited it, and I got
What?
pretty good.
Did they use Photoshop and stuff?
No, yeah.
Then they probably use Premiere because it's Adobe. Oh, you have a red dot too? Nice.
I feel like it was Final Cut. Was that Adobe?
Final Cut. I don't know. I think Cut is only like for Apple.
I think it was an Apple.
Yeah. I did Photoshop on Apple in college and in high school.
Yeah.
They actually
Hey,
work
what's
really
up,
good for
guys?
that,
It's Garrus here.
surprisingly.
I mean,
Surprisingly,
Twitchy Mouse, it's honestly 100% up to you. If you wanna.
what type
I
of
think-
bakery? I don't
I
know.
think it's a good game. It's just janky right now.
Yeah.
Whenever
fine.
we get to a house, can you like cover me and can I check my audio?
Yeah.
Let me shoot.
Oh God.
No, yeah, there's no.
Okay, there's
No
audio
audio.
for me
For me, there's not.
and everyone in the known universe. All right, let's get into like one of these houses,
Let's get right into the news.
and then I can check the map, and you can fix your audio settings real quick.
Yeah.
Let's get right into the. Ooh, oh, this car's on. Oh God.
Oh God.
Yeah, I shot that guy.
Oh, now there's.
He was
audio.
just standing there. Holy hell! I had my back to him.
Oh, right
this
here, right here.
Oh crap!
He's going out.
Ah crap! Don't save me yet. He's probably gonna try to flank you. So
Where
be
is he?
careful. He's probably gonna try to go behind you. Oh crap! No, he's over here.
He killed you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill him.
I'll spectate.
Oh, I'm dead.
Ah crap! Who did I?
Dang it! I
spectating
could have
now,
saved
huh?
you. I didn't take the shot.
Damn it. Are you and Mex gonna be streaming for another 7 more hours? I doubt it. Silly.
Exit lobby. Okay, I know the issue.
Yeah.
The audio is coming out.
What the?
Like,
How's my character like that?
I know what I have to do. I have to close PUBG real quick. The cool thing is that PUBG takes like 2 seconds to open. I never changed the hello.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
I never changed the where my sound setting was coming from.
Oh, okay.
Yo, Bruce Wayne, imagine you never saw that, okay? And don't worry, Kaden, I appreciate you stopping by.
That's weird. Did you go to school by UCLA? I'm not gonna say anything.
Dark Lord, I just ate In and Out.
I'm not gonna confirm or deny that. Dang, yeah, that sucks. Yeah, we're probably not gonna stream for 7 more hours until 7 a.m. now.
What's a stream deck?
Oh yeah, he already told me.
Is that from Twitch or Elgato?
It's Elgato.
Yeah.
It's like
it's that box, right?
Yeah. It lets you like control your. It's freaking expensive though. I don't even know if my Elgato works. Crap, I kind of know if it works.
I can't connect to
PUBG. For some reason that I had that same problem. I'm not going to give you guys anything.
I think I clicked the test servers.
Oh, okay. Because if I give you guys something, I give.
Brands is the Night's King. I don't even know what you mean by that. I ate breakfast for dinner. Hey. Optical Python, I changed the title. All you have to do is refresh.
$4.5 stars in and out to LA. What do you know? At least.
I can tell you that you're wrong, admin. You were so scared. So scared. I'm ready to start. You ready? That's pretty cool how I just opened the game and I'm in your... Actually, am I in your game? I see you.
Nah. I have to refresh it because for some reason it does that. Refresh Steam friends. Oh, it says you're in a party, so probably my party.
Yeah, I see you.
Alright. Yeah, sorry, I wasn't ready. I didn't click ready.
You're good. No, but that's true. Electric Games, Fox. I don't appreciate self-promotion. But Fox, you don't have to start insulting my mods. You know, that's not right either. You don't clear a wrong with a wrong.
You don't fight fire with fire.
Exactly. An eye for an eye will just make the whole world blind. Philosophical facts. You're good, Electric. Don't you worry. Oh no! I already told you it's freaking Paul.
What is?
Like, no. Do you not know how we would do that? We've been talking about Louisiana this whole time.
Yeah, Louis. Yeah, L.A. I've been saying this the name of the state,
Am I in your
not
game?
the city.
Are we starting?
Yeah, we're starting.
Very good.
I'm with the odd one out. Why would I tell you guys any of that information? Because you guys aren't the only guys watching.
After we've been
like I trust them
for a long time,
but I don't trust them.
Oh God, I'm inside my face.
Yeah, I was inside my face for like a second too. I could see my hair.
Oh God, I could see my freaking eyeballs.
I'm with you. I don't know. I'm trying to locate. My second guess is Hamilton High School. Keep on naming them, cause I'm not gonna.
Fox Gaming, you don't have to worry. This chat has like 19 people in it. Their self-promotion won't go too far. We try our best. Hey, where you at? Why are you running?
That ain't me, boy. Oh crap!
You're missing. You're missing.
God, I saw. Oh, dude, you know that app you told me about? I saw my keyboard and it's only $90 there.
There you go.
But I don't have $90. Hopefully he doesn't sell it, or she, whatever. I'm gonna frickin' pick up the hell of that up, because that's such a good deal.
Oh, we can, silly.
What's silly say?
If we're gonna be streaming this game on Wednesday.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can.
At this time, we can.
Where's Dave? Dave, where are you, boy? I need some sweet.
Why was the plane breathing fire? I don't know. You tell me when.
Oh crap! I was just tabbed out.
We're already like halfway through the freaking.
You see that?
You just tell me when.
It's right here. And now. And we're going west.
Yeah.
Due west.
You mean west?
Yeah, west. You friends with Nico in GTA? Yeah, I think so.
How
Pause,
far?
what up?
How far? Like right below us, or?
No. Just as far as the eye can see.
Oh wow, I'm screwed.
Oh, did you go right below?
Yeah.
There's like a little village, like a little houses.
I'm heading to like this little house over here.
Claus, get on Discord, boy. I want to
There's
talk
not
to
many
you.
people close to us.
Yeah, I doubt there's anyone even close to me. Oh, is there like a house?
I see a lot of people to my right. Like a lot of people to my right.
What's your right, north or south?
My right would be like northeast.
Dang, they're all going to the shooting range. That place is pretty good. Well, he's annoying and comes and follows me and destroys my shipment and stuff. Freaking Nico.
Ooh.
He doesn't even show up on my streams. He just trolls Claus, I guess. Well, Claus, I don't know. Unfriend him. Just because he's like, you know, a sub doesn't mean you have to like.
Yeah.
Put up with trolling.
Tolerate that crap.
I mean, I know I wouldn't.
And no, we haven't.
Yeah, we haven't tolerated it.
There's been a lot of people that I've had to like unfriend because even though they're subscribed doesn't exactly mean they're supporting us, you know?
Yeah.
And there's a lot. Oh, a scar.
Ah, that's super good. I need to get better on my switching guns game. I could have switched to another gun that last game. Damn it. That was so dumb. Why did I try to kill that guy? Whatever. It's in the past. My third guess is Los Angeles County High School.
I don't like third person. Can we like not do that?
I'm not gonna tell you guys if it's so. I feel like it's harder with third person because it's just like the screen peeking or whatever, like looking over shoulders and stuff. What up to cool High School of Arts? That sounds fancy. That sounds like a very expensive school.
I don't know why I can't switch to the scar. I think because I didn't grab the ammo for it, maybe.
All right, I'm going south because I know those people are.
Wait. Where did I find the scar? Helvet.
I'm heading towards you a little bit. Oh crap! Why am I heading towards you? Oh, the circle. Oh.
Is it super far?
No. You're in it. I'm not. So I guess. Oh god, this is so sketchy. Having my back to people. I'm heading towards you, I guess. Squads? What do you mean by that?
I don't like the holographic.
Xero. Just tell us my first name. Nope. Do you go to simply LA High School? I'm not telling you.
No, that's funny, Thomas. Yo, Fox and Electric, just drop it.
I already told you my name is Chris Hamilton. What's Odd One Out's name again?
Sphinx, what's your full birthday?
What's my full birthday?
Usually people just ask for like our half birthday, you know.
Yeah. yeah. Why full?
Alright.
Hey
boy.
What up? So you looted that up there.
Not really. I only got one house. I don't know why I'm going to. I'm scared without you.
Alright. So I don't want to play squads. Not even your full birthday, just your birth year.
I remember when we played the actual game Squad.
Yeah?
And that was absolutely horrendous.
It wasn't too bad. It was freaking hard as hell. Harder than this. Like this, I can actually get a kill. That game, it's just.
I can't get many kills.
I can't. Yeah.
Oh look, Electric Games is even admitting he made a mistake.
Dang.
You can't be mad with that.
Yeah, I can't be mad with that. My last album was The Chronic.
Aaron, you have a stinky booty. I just took a shower. Screw you. Screw you.
I can't play third person. It's locked to first person. I mean, I could play third person mode, but that's for freaking plebs, boy. I give up on the high school.
Oh, there's a backpack here. There's a M16.
Ah, crap! And I chose south.
And I don't have room for it. So.
Damn it! I'm going towards you.
What's better, M16 or AK?
AK. AK's a little bit stronger.
Okay. Well, here's.
I'm headed towards you.
For you then.
So
okay.
Top left house.
What are bullet loops for shotgun?
Yeah, for shotties. Fine, then I'm done negotiating. There is no negotiating, Odd One Out. There's nothing. I get nothing out of telling you guys who I am. There's no negotiations going on because there's nothing to negotiate. You guys want something. I don't want it. I have all the power. You guys have none of it. Boom!
Yo, I'll tell you guys everything you want to know if you can get me a sponsorship with McDonald's.
Okay, I'm picking that up right now. Yes. Do you have any like extra scopes?
I don't know, but there's tons of backpacks in here.
I will tell you guys anything if
I
the
don't.
country of North Korea sponsor. If you guys can get the entire country of North Korea to sponsor me. Okay. Well, this was good enough. I guess a backpack. Backpack's good too.
Look at my handgun.
Damn.
With the suppressor on it.
Yeah, that's so weird. A revolver with a suppressor? Oh crap. Alright.
Do we have to move?
No, not yet.
Actually,
but
where's
we
your
can. Yeah, yeah. It turns out that I thought the blue line was coming here.
We're gonna have to head like east. West.
You never know. Let's head down to where I have my marker.
You just jump down?
Yeah.
Does that not hurt you?
Nah. In this game, it's not like freaking GTA, where that would have been a ragdoll and possibly death.
Yo, King Gamer, I don't think I'm gonna be playing Black Ops 3, but I'm definitely gonna be playing World War 2 for COD.
Yeah.
Aaron the Goat. When noobs play PUBG.
Yep. I narrowed it down to 4 or 5 high schools. Really? Based off what?
Name the high school Sadman Gaming.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty like blown away if you got it, you know?
Mexes and I went to different high schools too, so
yeah.
That's the only information I'm telling you guys.
I've looked through all high schools and only 3 or 4 have chain cafes or bakeries.
Like in them?
Oh no.
LA is a big area. So.
Electric, if you want, I'll be your freaking poppy.
Do I have? Oh man, you don't want to. Okay. So I'm using a freaking Dell keyboard, the one that comes with those like Office / the generic Office
like
Dells.
the Experience.
Yeah, I don't even know what they're called, but every school, every freaking office has it. Has those. You guys recognize them, hopefully, if you're in the U.S. Actually, maybe even out of U.S. Those things are so freaking common. So
what's a compensator for? Less recoil?
Yeah, it compensates for horizontal. I mean for vertical. Ooh. For vertical.
I mean, the scar's already pretty solid though, isn't it?
Yeah, I just got a scar. So if you find it like
Nice.
a red red dot, tell me.
You got it, boy.
Because I got a scar too, and I hate the scope. Not really the scope, just
I have a holographic, but I'm not a big fan of it. Too big.
Yeah, I like the red dot more.
I've never been a fan of holographics ever. I mean, here's a holographic if you want it.
I love how they look. Where are you? Oh, over there.
Just in the
I like how they
two-story.
look. I used to go airsoftting. I
Yeah.
love how they look, and I really wanted one, but they're like heavily like regulated by
What do you mean?
Ecotech. Ecotech's like the company that makes them. They're like
Yeah.
$800.
Dang.
Yeah, because they're like military grade, and they like no other company is allowed to use the style.
Yeah, there's a shotgun here. No, don't really need it, but I don't know about you.
No other company's allowed to use this. Nah, I'm good. No other company's allowed to use this
Yo,
style.
I've got like
Actually, I'm gonna
3
take that.
painkillers,
I
and
don't
I'm probably
need
not
this.
gonna be able to use them quickly enough. So if you want like few,
All right, yeah. Give me like one. But there's this.
oh god, how do I take like one?
I heard there's a lot of gyms in LA. Yeah, there are a lot of gyms in LA. I narrowed it down to mostly public school. I heard a lot of gyms in LA. What? Yeah, probably. Wait, what? What are you doing?
And I gave you like all my painkillers.
It turns out I already have 3. Did you drop
know.
them on me?
I dropped 3.
Where are they?
You have 3, right?
Yeah. You drop.
Which
How
ones
how the hell did you drop them in my inventory? Or did
I
I
don't
put
know.
them? Or did I put them in there like
You
freaking?
probably did. And I just need like 1.
Oh, oh yeah. Sorry. I was
I
like,
dropped
I
all
was
of
like, what
them.
if you drop them? Why the hell you? Oh yeah. Oh
By
crap!
accident.
No, I'm using it. How do you? There's like a click.
That's what I didn't know. I
Oh,
just
okay.
dropped all of them.
It's control click. There.
Alright, let's go.
Um.
What's that blue bar right above above the map?
That means how far away. So the little person.
Okay.
So that's the blue line
If
and the
you're in
speed of it.
danger.
Yeah, and we're in the blue line, so
Yeah.
we're good for now.
Finally done relief.
Can you tell me one thing? What was your mascot? What animal? I cannot tell you.
Today I went
Absolutely
on the
not.
red meat, vegetable, and fruit diet, and I started working out, and I already feel me losing weight. Yo, that's what's up, dog.
Yeah. So how are you doing on your weight thing?
Super good. So if I look at my board real quick,
Dude, I have a 6-pack now.
I started at like 190 pounds. Okay.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, at my heaviest, when I was jacked out of my life,
Yeah.
I was like
Heavy is good.
199.
Damn.
And
Pure
that was
muscle.
like exactly. But I was like 190. What did I say? 195, something like that.
All right, let's move.
I was like 192. Or
Yeah.
something around there. But just blub, like holy crap. And now I honestly feel like I've made huge progress, and I think it's been like a month, and I'm already 183.
Dang, dude. That's
And-
nuts.
And like I've kind of been hovering around 183, 184, but that's good because like I'm gaining muscle and losing fat.
Yeah. I'm not even looking at how much I weigh. I'm just Actually, I
Like-
did a little bit. I didn't really move anywhere.
And like my legs are getting big, my arms are getting big again.
I'm gonna buy power
And-
lift shoes for squats.
And for like the first time in my life,
Yeah.
I'm actually like eating a pretty clean diet.
Yeah, that's
So
on me.
I'm actually beginning to get like pretty cut,
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Well, you're fine, Electric. Don't you worry.
Is he still apologizing? Thanks, love Sphinx.
No, he's talking about like for his age, he's heavy but not fat.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Well, Max is you're still way too much to ride an ostrich. That's just
random
crushed my
fact.
dreams. I've always wanted to weigh.
How heavy do you have to be to ride an ostrich?
I don't know.
Should
I
we
guess
cross
they
the
have-
bridge?
Why not? Just real quick.
Yeah. Screw it, we're here.
I hear.
Oh god. Oh no, that's the water.
Oh God, that scared the crap out of me.
That is.
I thought it was a car. So a supply drop just dropped over there. Do you want to head to it?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, this sounds gonna be freaking populated AF.
You think so?
Yeah.
Ah, this is where we died. I'm gonna cross back through the river. This place is a little bit sketchy.
Hey, Z, that's freaking dope, my dog.
People like hidden in windows with like 4x zoom scopes can like wreck us. 155 pound Sphinx. Oh, I can't fit in an ostrich. I don't weigh too much. And for my height, I'm like 6'3", so I'm just trying to throw them off right now.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a guy
you're
over there.
alright.
You
Where?
see him? Way over there, running in the
Yeah.
middle. You want to engage or not? Oh, okay.
Oh, I hit him. dog.
Holy hell!
What about that shot though, right?
Oh, you hit him again. I thought you said you sucked.
I do.
You shoot him because I can't shoot that far, and I'll like just.
Yo, that shot though.
Yeah, that was really good.
Is that someone behind us? Oh no.
Oh, you scared me for a bit.
I got scared too.
Oh, we're in the area, so we're good.
They're like aimbot.
That was freaking good.
And like the first shot hit him.
Remember?
Oh, there he is. Watch out! Watch out! Ah, he's.
Where is he?
seeing me.
Where is he? Where is he? Where is he?
Oh.
I don't see him. I
Oh.
don't see him.
Just like get me up though.
I'm dead. Yep. I have no idea where he was.
He was. I'm sorry, by the bridge. Damn. So here we are thinking I'm dope.
Same gun, same
Alright.
modification again.
Yo, Thomas, I don't know if I believe you. He's like, I'm 13 and I weigh like 240 pounds.
Didn't he actually say that he had to lose weight for him to get his computer back?
I guess, but really 240?
Damn, dude, that's
at
mean.
13?
Yeah, that is pretty big.
Are you serious?
Well, I guess it depends on
Still, 240 is a lot. No,
Yeah, I've
11.
never been that much.
11 and 240.
I looked up 13-year-old 240 and it comes up 13-year-old girl benches 240 pounds.
Yo,
That's nuts.
that brings me to something. Let's start, yeah.
Oh, North Korea's in my chat. What up? They're gonna literally look $20. Oh, I'm here to sponsor you.
Yeah. Hey, and I wonder where Odd One Out is.
Yeah. Suddenly he's not very talkative.
Yeah. Freaking today was chest and try, and I got 225 for one, dog.
225 for one?
Yeah, 225 pounds.
Dang, dude.
With just 2 of the 45-pound plates on each side.
Dang, 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 dang. I'm here to, yep, there it is. I'm here to sponsor you. How did I know? What up, Claus? I'm 13 and I weigh 112 and 5'6". Yeah, that used to be like one of my exact measurements. Very close. When I was young. I was super skinny.
Hey, get over here. Get over here.
I'm coming to you.
I'm right behind you.
Claus is going to North Korea in 2020. Of course he is. Come on, boy. Check this out.
You like these shots, boy?
Superman
Whoa,
punch.
what the hell? What the hell? Wait, how do I drop this gun?
Is it? Oh wait, no, that's Friday the 13th.
Like, I want to do that, dog. Hey, brother, I'm 14 and 160. That's pretty big.
Yeah, I'm like 174 right now, and I'm 21, so I'm trying to get bigger, but not by food.
Fox Gaming, you don't have to, prove anything.
Are you doing your? Are you doing your? Yeah. Are you doing your hit?
No.
No?
I mean, I guess kinda, in a way. I'm not really educated in what hit is, but I'm doing 10 minutes of high intensity stairs.
Okay.
So would that be considered hit?
No. All it means is
high intensity interval
training. Like what it really means is everyone dropped there. Not yet. We're going to the top of the mountain now.
It kicked me out.
All it means is you're walking for like 50% of your like resting heart rate, and then not sporadically, like in intervals, you do like.
Oh, there's someone here, just so you know.
You do high, 2 people. There's people
2?
down there. They're pretty far down though. They're not. Oh
no,
crap!
There's
a
someone
guy
like right next to us.
Yeah, there's one guy here.
So find a weapon and kill immediately, right?
Yeah, yeah. I need to keep my eye on where he is. Oh, I think he kind of noped out last second. Oh god. High risk, high reward, boys and girls. No weapon. I have a flashbang though.
I don't have anything. I have.
Oh crap! I see him.
I have a crowbar.
He's over here.
Do you have a weapon? Don't die.
No, that was just a grenade I threw. Ah! He's over here.
Oh god.
Don't, please.
Yo, I'm coming. I have a crossbow.
He's behind me, behind those rocks over there. Watch out. By the smoke.
Where?
To the right of the smoke. Southeast. It's a oh crap.
Ow.
She's probably flanking. Oh, right there.
Oh.
She's going behind you. Oh wait, not behind you.
Ow.
She's attacking.
I keep on missing.
She's attacking you from southeast.
Yeah, I know.
Watch out. Oh god, yeah, and you have a crossbow and she has
I died.
Shotgun.
Yeah.
You wanna play something else?
Whatever you want, bro. You choose. I'm having fun, but if you want to just change to whatever you want, we can.
Nah.
But can we like not do?
Yeah. Let me. Ah, crap. Oh, never mind.
Crossbows suck. Get nukes now. Who do you think said that?
North Korea. Claus. I don't know. Oh yeah, North Korea
Fox
said that.
Gaming.
Nice.
I don't know why you would bring that type of negativity here, boy. I'm truly sorry for what happened before.
Yeah.
And I just hope you can actually move on. Just move on. And these streams are about being positive and about.
Oh crap.
No, if you had a bad day, if you're having a bad time, if you're having a bad month, week, year, and you're just not happy, hopefully these streams can get your mind off it. And those type of comments, whether it's literal or you're trying to prove a point, doesn't really prove a point at all, and it kind of just brings everyone down. Whereas,
Click ready.
you know, life's the gift. Exactly what Electric said.
Yeah, we'll play some more pub.
Still, Fox Gaming, even trying to prove a point, just not worth it. Yeah. So, did you ever figure out how to get like the zombie thing going?
I never even looked it up.
No.
Try and land near the houses. There's good loot and nice vantage points. Problem about that is everyone goes there.
No. Jesus.
Doom exposed.
What was that?
Bet. Flat. Who is this fool?
Zombies? How about some good Left 4 Dead 2, says Thomas.
Nice.
I wonder if World War II is gonna have zombies.
It does. Damn it, I hate.
Hey.
And jump! Ah, why are we playing with different teams?
Are we jumping?
No, you can't.
Oh.
Not even yet. I didn't want to do team, I wanted to do duo.
You say when to jump, okay?
Nah, okay.
Hey, I'm gonna jump when Sphinx says jump, okay? Okay, dope.
Oh.
Oh god.
I'm rubber banding a bit.
Yeah, I think we're good now.
The hell? Or jump.
Are we sticking with them?
Yeah.
Might as well, right?
Yeah.
Check guys.
So what? Right here, like right under us. Where'd they do the points? That little like base?
With the water thing?
I think so. Yeah,
I'll go
yeah.
to the houses. Why not, you know?
Yeah.
And then I'll meet you guys.
Yeah.
Thomas is saying, please, 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 Left 4 Dead 2. Left 4 Dead 2.
Left 4 Dead's 2 is only fun when we talk about like controversial stuff, like, you know, religion.
Like Sphinx's name.
Nah, it's not controversial enough. Ah, crap. I got scared I was in first person for a bit. You like my nukes? I don't. Those nukes are freaking peasantry compared to what I got, boy.
Real talk.
Ooh, AK, nice. Alright, here we go.
Oh god, I kind of didn't realize I was in freaking third person.
Isn't that good?
Yeah.
Oh crap, how does that guy already have low life? Alright, medicate.
Oh no.
This looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me because we need a little controversy.
See you later, Electric. Thomas, I'm 99% sure you don't
He doesn't what?
know my real name. I have a Jeep here.
Yeah. Cool. Coolio.
No.
Damn, I need a backpack.
Not that cool, I guess.
Yeah, it's not. It's coolio. Just that cool. Doesn't deserve a. Whoa! That is cool.
I have a tactical nuke in here.
Eh.
I have an insta kill in here.
Insta kill.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
So I looted this. That guy looted that one.
Well, I looted everything. Didn't really get anything good.
Nice.
Sergeant Sharp. Yeah, I don't know your real name actually,
All right,
but
Claus.
I can find out.
Find Claus. Ditch. Whatever. We don't need you here.
Hey,
Pez.
Claus. I appreciate the love, boy.
Ooh, what is that? Extended mag.
What's up, gameplay lover? What's poppin'?
That's you. Nice. I'm kind of.
Has everything been looted?
Yeah, for the most part.
Even this house?
The big one probably definitely.
Oh, no, yeah.
I think I looted that one. Try to find my AK.
Oh, there's a pan in here. Oh god.
Where?
God, he's got like a 4x scope too.
I have no idea who he's shooting at.
He's shooting east.
Yeah, I know.
can't see who.
I see, but I don't know.
Anything good here for me? I didn't really find like
I didn't
good
find
weapon.
anything. No, I only found the naked.
Frosted Raccoon. I didn't know that. Yo, Tyrese, damn motherfucking right, dog.
Yeah, these were looted to hell.
Love you.
These were looted to hell and back.
We know that, Fox, but you brought up a sensitive point for a lot of people.
Ooh, oh,
And so now we're not necessarily talking about you, but we're talking about the subject and how we pray that people are always going to be all right.
Every little thing's gonna
be all right now.
I think everything's.
Right.
I looted probably most.
Okay. Well, I brought the car here. That's cool how people like it now, you know?
Yeah. Why am I in the middle? What a weird setup. Get inside the big house, top floor. Yeah, it's already looted. So yeah, kill.
Would you like to have a Jeep like this? Like actually, restored though?
What do you mean?
With like 2 seats in like the back.
Oh, this isn't
More
a Jeep though.
Like 1998. But
This-
imagine it was a Jeep. Yeah, gameplay lover. It's because I'm not playing anymore that GTA as much.
Land Rover Defenders are like that. They have like those weird side seats.
Name of your car, specific year, specific color, and be specific.
Specific license plates, specific person
I'm
inside.
Not saying none of that crap. There
Yeah.
are websites online that you can pay like $2 to find out all my information. Aaron the Goat, as far as I know, there's only 4 squad members. That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
He's asking, can there be 5? Because there's an extra seat right next to you.
Yeah, I know. Oh god. This area seems like high. I feel so much safer with like a big squad, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh damn, you're just going for it. You're like, screw it.
I've got a shotgun.
I died in one of these houses last times.
I've got a
Oh,
shotgun,
this
though.
has been looted. Oh crap.
Oh, where?
Crap. The house I'm in. Third house.
I'm coming.
Third house.
I'm coming to you. Boy, don't die. Ah.
Did that guy really play music when I died? I only have 2 monitors. He's in the balcony. He's around the house. Watch out. Are you alive?
Yeah.
Page.
I'm coming to help my friend out.
Yeah. Probably flank.
Oh, I'm flanking him.
Shotgun battle. Oh, you guys are dead. Let's see what the other guy is. Oh no, he's gonna snipe. He's gonna avenge you.
Aaron the Goat, I've got 2. Oh dang, he took someone out.
can't really shoot his hand.
Dang it.
I shouldn't have done like 4.
Fox Gaming, what are you talking about, dude? You used to be so chill, but like I don't know, this stream you've just been so toxic. How's it going, Ben, my dude? Guess how many I have? None. Aaron goes like, how many monitors do you have? I'm like 2. He's like, guess how many I have?
How many?
None.
Nice.
Nice. I swear he made a lot of those. You know?
Yeah. What up, Dave? Aw, hell yeah, boy! Come on. Oh, damn, dude, good try. Good try. Dave's getting on.
He got taken out. That's insane. I know, Marcus, I know.
Let's go on the other Discord. Claus, get on the other Discord. The big one.
Hello?
Yeah?
Alright. Is Dave joining?
I don't know. He just said I said, dude.
I said, dude. All I want for Christmas is mod from Sinks now. Hey.
Who said that?
Aaron the goat. Yo, let me check out my my DOJ
just to talk. Oh yeah, I mean mine's probably not been read.
For mine it's only been a couple of days.
Dude, I tried. Like I wrote some good stuff there.
You like applied for a job.
Yeah. I've actually put more effort into the DOJ application than like any of my other job applications. Mostly because I don't really care about
no one
jobs.
has seen it yet.
Yeah, so that immediately probably means that nobody's seen mine. What up, Claus? Here it is, guys. Claus voice exposed. Hello?
It's probably gonna take some time for him to, like, you know,
kids yelling in the background.
Again.
Yeah. It's very quiet at first. Hello? Yep.
Hi.
Like, why are you such a Claus?
Why can't you be normal?
How do you know if it's been read or not?
It'll say like 1 view, 2 views. That's most likely you.
50 views. Alright.
Hi. It is your boy.
What up, Claus? Are you listening to us via stream or like directly?
Directly.
Good, good.
Finally.
Where does it say where they've read it?
So go to the forum.
Yeah, I'm on the forum. I'm looking.
And without clicking on your thing.
Yeah.
You should see.
Minecraft.
Like 0 replies to I have 2 views.
Views.
See that?
No. I'm on my applicant page.
No, you want to go on the forum.
Oh, okay. Forum.
And now do you see accepted?
Yeah, 4 views.
Okay, there you go. 4 views. That's probably 4 times it from you, huh?
Maybe.
Because I only have 2 views, but I'm pretty sure I checked mine twice.
I asked Wiggling to follow me, so you know, hopefully.
What do you mean? Wiggling's in it?
Yeah, no. He made an application same time as me.
Oh.
What is going on in Claus's?
OMG, PewDiePie is streaming on 360p right now.
Is he? Damn it, PewDiePie. Like, stream at a different time. Is he actually streaming? He's probably streaming the same game as us. Yep. Squirrel. What's he saying?
Fox Gaming, I really don't believe that excuse. So you know how Fox Gaming was being super toxic, right?
Yeah.
What do you think he said?
Someone explain to me why my brother's dying laughing right now and tell me to scroll up.
No, in the beginning, he was like, "Oh my god, I hate my brother. He took my phone and ran away."
Oh, wow. Total Claus move.
Yeah.
I want to know what the hell's going on in Claus's house. That's what all that weird noise is. Dave, are you getting on? boy. We're just waiting here like freaking.
Just start. We're probably gonna die right away. So.
Okay, yeah. That'll wake him up. Squad.
I mean, is these something I've noticed in my 2 months of doing YouTube?
All right, ready.
Whenever someone's being bad and then they actually get, you know, consequences, first thing they do is say, I misclicked.
Claus
My
just
mouse
left.
double clicks. Lag, or they say it was their brother. Like, it happens all the time.
Yeah, that's North Korea just subscribed. Nice. Yeah, that was for like some weird stuff going on in Claus's like house or something. I don't know. Or Claus trolling. Who the hell knows?
What's up, here?
Did you click ready?
Yeah, dude.
I hear that super loud clicking.
It's not doing it.
Really?
I don't know why.
Do
It won't. I'm clicking.
All right, just leave it. Just leave it. It's probably just gonna match us. My ears hurt. They so.
No, because it's saying here.
What up,
I
Marcus?
left.
Oh.
I left. Invite me.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I haven't signed up for freaking class. Why do I do this every freaking year?
Why don't you just do it right now?
I don't know what classes to take.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, screw it. I don't care.
Hey, yeah.
Oh, I am so
No worries
freaking
here. I
bad at
appreciate you
this.
stopping by, boy.
When you hear that? You hear?
I can't click ready. I'm gonna leave like close the game. Open it.
Click. No, there's like a refresh.
No, I'm already
top
doing
left.
it, and it takes like 2 seconds.
All right. Oh, for some reason, oh, Leaf team. Oh, it's because were we on the same team?
That's fine, Fox. Don't you worry. You don't need to prove anything. Alright, loading.
Why isn't it telling me
Connecting.
the first day?
I'm in. Invite me again.
Okay, this is the. I have to use a different computer. Yes. Sorry, my bad. Refresh. There you are. Invite.
Agree. Play.
So all these people.
There we go. You do it now? Hey.
Oh right. Sorry.
Sphinx.
Yeah. What up?
Say to Sphinx from me, please, bro. There you go. There you go, Ben.
Say to Sphinx for me, please, bro. Woo! What up, Ben? What's cracking in Lucasville, Arizona? Yeah, you should, admin. Love me, say that you love me. I don't care anything. Accurate. How does DJ Khaled say accurate? Accurate. Accurate. It's freaking. I need to hear that right now. I'm gonna after I get a haircut because it's really long. No, I want to see it long. Accurate.
So my sound is accurate. It's a real.
My sound is accurate. My sound is accurate. Accurate. What? Accurate. Don't jump yet. Damn, a ton of people to the military base. No, just put it on your Instagram. Accurate. I wish I.
Tell me when.
Damn it, Dave! What the hell? He doesn't have his computer here.
You tell me when.
All right, I'll tell you when. Now.
Where are we heading?
South, just directly down. Accurate. What up, Sawu? Do that. That was accurate.
To like these 3 houses.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Anyone next to us?
Fox Teaming just sent it to me in Facebook.
What's he gonna send me?
Accurate. Yo,
Accurate.
John Butler, I'm doing great, boy. How are you doing?
Accurate. My sound is accurate. Accurate. Can I do a good old Roofland?
If you want.
Oh hell yeah, that was a dope. Ooh, someone just got a messes.
Oop.
Messes.
I'm a horrible YouTuber.
I said that freaking. I said messes.
Who puts a bed in the living room?
Who puts a living room in the bed?
Dang, son.
Yeah, dude.
Real talk.
Real talk.
Finally, someone speaking the truth.
Speaking the truth about John Wilkes Booth. How accurate was that?
Who's John Wilkes Booth? I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding, psych. I don't know. Just post it, admin. God, man, you're being a little
I just
farmer.
wish people would stop texting me. Sorry for that random outburst.
Oops, sorry.
Completely uncomfortable.
Aw, hell yeah.
Completely uncomfortable.
You get anything good?
I got a pistol.
Anything accurate?
I got a pistol, a helmet.
Flash hider.
There's a gas here too.
Nice.
If you're into that, you know, only if you're into it. But you know, to each their own. I'll check this little house right here.
I don't want to be a little too accurate.
Of course, understand.
Was there anything in the other house? You checked it, right?
Yeah.
Oh
Mine.
crap! That scared the crap out of me. There's like a
Which one's better,
reflection.
P92 or P1911?
1911. It's probably not better, but I have a 1911, so yeah, I'm a little bit biased.
Why are you taking the P92?
Alright,
Because it has more ammo.
There's some okay. How far are we? Okay, we're in the.
There's a car right here. Might as well take you right.
That's inaccurate. That's inaccurate.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, Ahmad Khan, where have you been, boy?
Back to open arms of the Sphinxters community, and when I go to the store to get my grapes. Yeah, that is real talk.
Dakota, my boy, it's time.
Oh, that's so accurate.
Where
That's-
did accurate even start from, dog?
Oh, that's you. DJ Khaled. DJ KD.
Oh,
I wish somebody would stop texting me.
I'm not even texting.
And I'm telling that to my source. Okay, Sphinx.
You're like, no one came here.
Dave, where are you, boy? How are you not back home?
Crossbow, screw that
Showed me
crap, right?
yesterday. Yeah. F that noise.
Is that like a one-hit kill though?
Not sure. I know it's silent. Oh, okay.
It'd be kind of stupid if like it wasn't, because that takes freaking forever
to reload.
to reload.
Oh god, lag. In-game lag.
No, I'm really not finding anything good.
Yeah. I mean, besides my assault. Ooh, UMP. There's a UMP in here if you want it.
Yeah, I definitely want that.
And I'll drop a red dot sight on the floor for you.
I made my mom buy me a $12 bag of trail mix.
Nice.
It's 4 pounds. Dang, that's a lot. I don't know. I would say that would last me a long time, but like honestly, I might like chow down through that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably not anymore with like the diet I'm doing, but previously.
Yeah.
Especially if it's the trail mix with the M&Ms. Ooh.
No, that's accurate as hell, dude. That's how I would
Where's
do.
the UMP?
In that room over there. I also dropped a red dot for you.
I don't see UMP.
Should be in the big room.
Big one, big one, big one.
Over here. In here. Right there.
I didn't check this room.
Dave. Dave is in. I don't know where Dave is. Dave, where are you at, like IRL? Uh-oh. Where are we? Okay, no, we're good. We're like right in the middle. Let's just go from house to house. You could turn up your game volume so that you can hear the door opening and closing sounds if anyone enters. Yeah. It's pretty loud on my part.
Yeah.
For me, it's super loud.
I didn't have any chocolate chips, so I dumped a bunch in it. Hey.
Thanks for that. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your experience on YouTube? What do you mean by that?
Is asking us to play H1Z1 because apparently it's better than this game.
No. For some reason, him and Moonstalker love that. No.
Yeah, Dark Lord.
That game has never been as popular as this. It probably will never be. That game has failed.
Isn't it like the same exact concept though?
I don't know, but I know the people who praise it. You know, they like praising it because they got duped into buying that, and they don't want to. They want to defend their investment.
Yeah.
Okay, the F. Why is nobody talking in Discord? We're still on the same Discord. We're in Discord, dude. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, you have to go to the other chat.
Who?
Klaus is in the Friday the 13th one.
Why is he allowed there?
Because you invited everyone there.
Are we not on the Friday the
No, we changed to the huge one.
The huge one is the only one Klaus is in. I didn't invite him to any other
Well,
ones.
then Klaus isn't even in the Discord, so that's why no one's talking in the Discord.
Yeah, Klaus, you left or something.
Oh, Aaron Degoda is saying that this is better.
Yeah, good. He didn't like that comment I made about defending their investment. Ooh, flash hider.
Sorry, Aaron, I misunderstood you.
Oh, I already have a flash hider. Alright. Oh crap, we're in the explosion zone.
What's our car?
Oh, it's hella back. Might as well forget about that. Yeah, Klaus, you're not in.
I'm getting kind of stressed out. I don't know where to go.
We're going this way.
Where's the map?
We're over here. We're in the center. We're good.
H1Z1's another game, Fox.
Yeah, it's a.
Hey, I'm here. Here's brother.
You
really?
hear that?
I'm here. I'm here. I can't tell if he's being for real, you know?
Yeah, I think he's just trolling. I'm here. You here? I'm here.
That's so good. Oh my god. I'm here.
Does he have the same last name?
Yeah.
Jimenez. Jesus, this guy. This is the guy who does the Klaus trolling, the Mexis' girlfriend, the Sphinx's girlfriend.
I got a pair of blue, black, and white.
We shouldn't be laughing because he's just gonna keep on this freaking.
How's it going, Fox? Tommy
Man.
Hilfiger shoes. What are those?
I've heard of Tommy Hilfiger. I don't know what the shoes are.
I've heard of Tommy Bahama.
I mean, I don't know if I want that much, detail. Why didn't you go from the car from the outside? Cars are loud.
Sabo, y'all still up. You're still up, dog.
Yeah, y'all still up, boy.
Do I have a lung? Oh yeah, I do.
Wouldn't it be dope if we
Yo, this is like GTA. I'm faster under you.
Yeah, is that true? Felix PewDiePie, you here, boy?
Oh god, you're talking in chat.
Yeah, I know.
Why?
You here? Pewds, you here? What
Is
if he's
he actually
in here?
here?
I don't know. Probably not. I don't even know.
I thought you were stream sniping.
No. I don't even know how to stream snipe, so.
Yeah, you do.
Then you get the face in the
You do it all the time.
Oh man. Yeah. Useless. What a useless place. Ooh, there's some pants.
And we got a car again.
Where?
Some over here.
Oh yeah, huh? Let's switch those two
Might as well check that little.
Yeah.
I'm Yahir's brother.
You check
Prove
that
it.
one. I'll check this one over here.
If you're Yahir's
I'm
brother,
here.
tell me what Yahir is studying to be. Like what job, what career is he pursuing?
That one's kind of easy, but let's see.
I don't think so. Not if you're not paying attention, you know.
Yeah, I guess. Did
You
not-
know because you know.
Yeah.
But let's just see.
Let's
This
go
will
over
prove
here.
it. This will prove it all. What about the car, boy?
Let's go over here. If we need it, we'll go get it. But it makes so much noise that if there's anyone over here,
You got it, Fox Gaming. Don't you worry. I'll check it out.
I've done the unspeakable. I've undone my headphones from the computer. What do you mean by that? Admin, if you want to.
That means that we've talked like out loud for him.
Yeah. That's unspeakable. Searching. Backpack on the floor. And an energy drink. Probably this place has been looted. Uh-oh. Is that you? It is. Making all that noise. Helvete.
Dope, I love it when my guy can't climb a damn wall.
Me too.
So this place has been all types of looted?
No, it hasn't been looted at all, in my
Oh,
opinion.
dope.
Uh-oh.
We grind catch streams. Hey.
Ooh. I'm 16 up here.
I'm
guys.
sorry, Aaron. You guys don't understand the struggle of me getting on. They're like, yeah, we have to like grind to like actually catch streams. They're like, you don't know how, freaking what I do. Can I not
Damn.
carry an AK and a UMP?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, yeah, I can.
I'm carrying an
Just
AK
made me
and
drop one.
M16.
I really want like more armor, you know?
Yeah.
Like a better police vest, better helmet. This looks like Anne Frank's.
Yeah, I'm getting good guns, but I'm not getting good like.
This is where Anne Frank lived.
Dang, dude, that's rough. Too soon.
Too soon.
Now you really got me on a freaking bad mood.
Do you guys want like those 8 hour? God, I feel like we've been
I don't.
slacking.
I feel like
You-
we've been.
Do you remember when we started? We were doing like 8 hour streams.
Yeah, but those really grinded me down.
I know,
Like it
but
really did.
we grew. And do you remember like our streams would be doing decent, but it wouldn't be until like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
that we like start to like grow at like a really good rate.
Look, I'm down to stream at 4 a.m. But you know, I
But
can't.
like
I
actually
can't.
go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That means I'd have to sleep like at 10.
yeah. Still, just getting on at that time is hard. To be honest with
Yeah.
you.
Are we still in the circle?
Why are you leaving me?
I'm not. I'm just going up here.
Yeah. That's leaving me. Yeah, and then they're like, yeah, but the stream's worth it. It's good quality streams. And Aaron's like, yeah, OBS doesn't crash as much anymore. I fixed it. I had to go into my settings.
Yeah, I still haven't fixed it.
My settings were too high for my internet connection. And like, I have a good internet connection. Just the settings are for freaking NASA connection.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I guess even 20 megabits isn't strong enough to stream in like 1080p consistently.
Upload?
You know? Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I've been doing
You
pretty
need more.
pretty decent. Alright, why? Quick draw mag. Can't use that drop. 45 A.
Okay, let's see what I got.
Yeah, I don't. No reason to be carrying that. 9mm should not be carrying that. 12 gauge should not be carrying that.
Do you have a ump?
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, okay.
So I can get the code.
I thought you did.
Oops.
Should I put my red dot on my AK and then the holographic on the UP?
Yeah, sounds good. I think the red dot's like a little bit more accurate.
Exactly. That's why I wanted for like the stronger gun.
Accurate. I think the AK is more accurate. I mean, stronger than the M16, no? M16 is probably more accurate. But I'm thinking
Yeah.
the AK is more
When did accurate start?
accurate. DJ Khaled.
You see that? I'm here. Said you're
Accurate.
here studying to be a doctor. Nope. You are not his brother. There you go. I
So
know for a
my
fact
sound
now.
is accurate.
My sound is accurate. I just rewatched that.
It's accurate.
What does that mean?
Accurate. Accurate.
What?
Yeah. See, JK, this isn't his brother. I knew it.
Accurate.
That's so funny though. I'm here. That's such a
This
good
guy.
troll.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
When
Props to you.
when he showed up with the freaking Claus's mom, I don't know. That was freaking hilarious.
Yo, I'm here. Legit. Are you Dakota? I mean, no. Doom Gaming?
I think so.
Are you all one out? Be real with us, boy. 'Cause you got some quality goofs Some quality gaps. Yo, Aaron the Goat, I try to use keyboard as little as possible. Like
I try to use it as much as possible.
I'm on keyboard right now.
Oh, I'm hoping. Oh man, I'm gonna ask my dad for a small loan of $100. I really want that keyboard. It's so cool. It's so dope. The RGB on it, dude, and it's mechanical.
Where are we going?
Oh yeah. Maybe
Other
we
way,
should
huh?
stand. No, we're good. Oh, we're so good right now. We don't even need to go anywhere. So I don't know why we're, making noise and driving in circles. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just waiting it out. Did we already search these houses down there?
I don't think so.
I feel like I'm getting off that car. Sorry. It's just. Ooh, there's like a school over there. You want to go there?
Oh, I just hurt myself.
Yeah. You see that school over here? Oh, actually, yeah. Let's loot this place.
I feel like not that many people have like looted that many
Yeah.
places.
Like in this area, like.
Yeah. Just
Ooh,
not that many
crossbow.
people came here.
Ooh.
I feel like we
crossbow.
should legitimately start camping though now, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Hell yes, the leather coat. AF angled foregrip.
Hey! Dakota sponsored!
Damn, Dakota.
My boy! Sorry for that seizure warning.
Yeah, I almost just had one.
I was freaking
Is that
spinning my mouse. Yo, we just got a new person to the family, my boy!
Yeah, I do want to get to the school. Damn, dude,
Oh
Dakota.
my god, I
GG, boy.
appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. You got that badge next to your name now, which I'm gonna fix. I don't like how it's like just a square.
Yeah, dude, fix that. The hell?
Oh man.
Who do you think
boy.
you is?
No, it's who you think you is.
Who you think you is? Where's that from? That made me laugh.
I just said it randomly, but it's from something. Like I didn't come up with it.
Somebody wrote it in Oh crap, car. Northwest.
Close all the doors.
300.
Nearby?
Yeah, he just drove past. Now he's away, but I kind of want to take some. Nah.
Are you shooting?
Yeah. Is it loud? Because I'm using a suppressor.
It sounds muffled.
Okay, good.
Yo, Dakota, my boy. Yo, you like. I don't think you guys understand how much.
I want a level 2 backpack. Tell me if you find a level 2 backpack. But yes.
I don't. But
Ooh, yes.
You
4
know-
times scope.
I'm doing YouTube because I love it.
Same.
And I really like. Turn that on low. Yeah, that's good.
Oh hell yes.
Let me know if you guys hear like a wind noise. I don't want this like sound quality to be bad, but I'm
Yeah,
freaking
me too.
roasting.
Because I have
And
a
so,
freaking fan pointed
exactly.
at my back.
I just
right
turned
at
on
my
the
mic.
fan.
So.
But I love doing what I'm doing right now. Okay. I really, really do. And the thing is, though, I'm spending a lot of time on YouTube. Like 8 hours. At least trying to do 8 hours daily. And I'm not gonna always be able to do that if I can't support my family while doing it. And keep in mind, I've been spending less time with my girl, less time with my family to do this, which I'm completely okay with. But I just hope you guys understand this isn't just playing a game. How do you crouch?
See.
God dang. And just Dakota, you're helping me being able to continue to stream every day. And so I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. I'm even trying to expand from streaming. I'm also gonna
Where's the level 3 backpack?
Oh,
In here?
yo, supply drop right here. Come on.
Where?
Like
How
right
close?
next to us.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn it! There's a level 3 backpack, but I missed
Follow
it.
me.
Uh.
Follow me. You're going the wrong way.
Yeah, no, I'm going. I hope this isn't risky.
It's not. Honestly, Dark Lord, I don't think you guys understand how much I appreciate you guys. And I love talking to you guys. And I said this before.
Oh, that's
GTA streams are
okay,
fun and
that's
all,
pretty
you know?
yeah.
And yeah, I get, 100, 200, 300 people watching at times. But it's so much more intimate and so much more meaningful when I'm playing this game, and I have like 20 people that will watch me for me. You know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of scared. It's right here,
Yeah.
but I saw a car.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to loot it as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And then we can go into the blue house.
Oh man.
Oh, 4x scope. Nice helmet. Oh, let's go, come on.
AKM. Oh, that's pretty good.
I got an insane sniper.
Nice. Let me take that AKM. Oh crap.
Car.
Watch out.
I know.
What? Crap. He's at. I'm dead. He's outside wall. Outside wall. Outside wall. Crap. Probably. Watch your door. He's probably behind you. Oh crap. There's two of them. Watch out. He's probably gonna throw a grenade in here. Yep. Damn.
Damn it.
We shouldn't have gone for that. Whatever. What up, young Jackson Young?
Oh.
Thanks that you do that. Yeah.
I shot him so many times. God damn it.
Yeah. That's how it goes in this freaking game. Damn. I guess we weren't. We just weren't.
Accurate. It's a real accurate. Accurate.
I guess we just weren't.
Accurate.
I need a soundboard. No, I'm playing a sound click as I say that.
Accurate.
I'm not hearing it though.
Yeah, I know. Only my stream can hear it. I'll send you a
Oh.
link, and it's like a 6-second video. It's freaking hilarious.
On my end, I just hear. I guess we just weren't. How's it going, baboon? It's Tyrese. I don't know if I believe you.
All right, it's on Discord, so open that up.
And we spend our time to watch you also have, so I no sleep for the streams. Hey. You're Aaron the Goat. That's all I can, ask for. Let's go together. I guess you just weren't.
Excuse me.
Ah, great. Oh my god.
Okay.
Start again.
The voice and the face behind admin gaming.
Start again.
And yeah, I'm awkward. So good for me. Hi, this is the voice and the face behind admin gaming.
Can you hear that?
Hi.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm awkward.
Dang,
So-
dude. Admin gaming. Woo!
Never call yourself awkward. Believe in yourself, dog.
Dang.
Are we starting?
Damn. Pretty close to Winnipeg.
Starting?
Yeah, we're starting. I already
Maybe
clicked
next time, bro. Next time what? Yeah, hopefully we'll win next time.
it. Yeah. That was close, dude.
We got up to like what, top 20?
Yeah. Top 20.
I feel like and we killed them.
Right. So my sound is accurate. It's a real sound, and I made sure that. 'Cause
Oh, Dakota,
Right,
my
so my sound is
boy.
I guess we just weren't.
accurate. It's a real sound, and I made sure that. 'Cause
Like 150 miles from Winnipeg. Yeah, that's
Dakota,
close.
You don't have to, boy.
You go to any Jets games? Pocket sand.
Dakota,
What the hell?
you can't say that you owe money and then do that.
Oh, I want to see what he did.
Oh my god. I just like
Dang.
I don't deserve that, you know?
Yeah.
I ain't no PewDiePie.
Yeah, he deserves it. That's not sarcastic, sorry.
See Sprite, how's it going, boy? From the bottom of my heart and the top of my heart. Thank you. Wow, that base layer of clouds look beautiful.
Yeah. So does the
Tell me what-
freaking garbage horizon. Look at that. Ew.
I know, that's what I'm talking about.
I'll tell you when.
Oh, Dark Lord, you might not be appreciated, but you're accurate.
Now.
kidding.
We're going
Where am I driving
west.
to? Got it. 300?
Like, yeah, like far.
Far?
Yeah.
Oh,
What up,
God.
the elder?
How do I go far?
You just aim forward and don't look down. Just click W, I guess. These like little village houses, I guess. This is where we were like right now, like last
Which
game.
Right here? Okay.
Yeah. You can go to those. I
Dark
can go
Lord,
to
you are a
these.
boy. Come on.
Yeah, Dark Lord, come on. There's a lot of people over there. Behind us. But I guess we're good over here.
There's not that many people behind us.
What's
Like, not
poppin',
close
Jimbo?
behind us.
Jimbo. That's from
Ben, I
frickin'
appreciate that, dog.
Jimmy Neutron.
And I really like it when you guys sponsor more than donate.
Yeah.
Because that way you guys actually get something back, you
Yeah.
know?
Dude, I think...
There's someone in this house, this orange house.
Oh, God. That statement you just said is very accurate.
I'm gonna go into this house, hopefully I can get a weapon, and then sneak up on him
Crossbow
real
bolts,
quick, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's no weapon in here.
That sounds just about accurate.
Aw, dang it!
Yeah. Damn it! I don't want 9mm. Crap. Give me the other gun.
I might die. I'm going in.
Wait. I have a gun. Not a good one, but we're... Oh, crap. That's not a balcony. Alright, I'm going to you. We're in the play area, which is good. Where are you at? Is he in there?
Yeah, I threw a grenade.
Oh, God, that's scary.
Come?
Yeah, I'm going.
I don't have a weapon or anything to even help you with, but he's like upstairs.
Great. Where are the stairs?
Upstairs. Right here. Right here. I'll punch him, bro.
Oh, crap, he has a gun.
Go. I'll punch him.
Damn it, you got in my way.
Go.
Oh, God, I ran out of ammo! Ooh, that was a close one. If you didn't... Oh, God, he's still alive.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, it was my freaking Superman punch.
He was still freaking alive. Watch out, he might have a friend here. Dude, that was nuts. Why do you keep on picking
I
up?
don't have an inch.
I just see a character like next. Damn, and he had a freaking rifle. Did he not know we were here? Maybe he didn't think we were gonna attack or something.
He didn't think we were stupid enough.
Yeah.
I'm super low on health. Do I have anything?
Oh, there's a med kit over here.
Yeah, I got first aid kit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, use that. Oops. Close that. I like how Mexus like start over 3 times.
Okay.
I
I mean, to be honest, we're not
Yeah.
looted very well.
Yeah, the elder. Yeah, that's not amazing.
Is there a rifle here? I see a rifle.
Oh yeah. I
Probably
see
the
it.
one you're holding though. Just, you know, $40 game.
$40 game. That's pretty accurate.
Go back to the closet by the door that I came in. They're telling me.
They're telling you.
Oh, dang, boy!
What's in there?
2 scars?
Damn! I'm getting that. I don't want this gun. What the hell?
Sorry,
where?
I have both.
In here? Why would you have
No,
both?
I
Drop
have
one.
both.
What is that? I want to pick that up. Oh, it's magazines you reloaded.
Here.
Sorry it came to this, but...
Here. Do you have ammo for it or no?
Yes.
Do you need more though?
Yeah, a little bit. Uh-oh.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's really good.
Uh-oh. Friends?
No. Dacia.
No, I hear.
Yeah, east,
friends are
east.
here.
The houses that we're in, not friends. Army memes.
Hey, Sadu, I appreciate the sub, boy. I'm here, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yo, John Butler, thanks for the help, dog. That was freaking clutch of you.
That's freaking accurate of you. Enough with the DJ Khaled, yeah.
From where?
House that I came from southeast. Behind the wall.
Do they see you?
I don't know. It's one guy. His friend probably died. What the hell? Bull.
Just go hide. Just go hide.
Behind the wall. Behind the wall. He like
I
peeked
see
out. Dumb as hell. I'm going to you. He's shooting me. He's after me. Watch out, he's coming to me. Yeah, he's gonna kill me. I'm dead. He's got a micro Uzi, so don't let him get close to you.
Where is he? Oh, holy crap!
Yeah, micro Uzi like freaking Rex.
Aiming.
Damn it! We suck at this game.
I suck at aiming.
The F is accurate. We're
Stop
all
with
accurate.
that accurate, dog.
Sound is accurate. 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 Accurate.
I suck, though.
Accurate.
Like, I don't even have enough for like a dope crate. I mean, I know it won't be dope, but still.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to Sur Yakil.
To what?
Sur Yakil D.
What's that? Oh, okay.
It's a guy. I should have gotten one of these. Why did I choose the other crate? Some purple stuff.
What? You want the Gamescon?
No. I already got the games comments. Oh wait, no, I got the weekly.
Oh, that's
notes.
cool how it actually tells you what you can get now.
Yeah. What you could get.
You'll probably get booty stuff, but still. Dang, the purple crate.
You can actually buy crates.
Right?
Oh my god, they're expensive. Do people
How much
sell
you
them?
buy them for?
$17. Oh, you can buy
each
stuff.
crate?
I'm kind of tempted to buy this stuff.
Where?
No, they like Steam Marketplace. You can like buy individual items. You can get your guy looking all accurate, you know.
Alright, let's start.
Thanks, the elder. I hope you're not freaking being sarcastic, being a freaking little snooty booty.
Good night, admin. I love you.
That totally, that 4 minutes were totally fun and
Oh, did you
exciting.
see admin gaming? Like, did you actually see him?
Yeah, it's a video of his face. It wasn't just his voice; it's like his face. For some reason, not how I thought he looked. He would look.
Hi, this is the voice and the face behind
What's his
Abbott Gaming.
Insta?
Hi.
I'll put it on
awkward.
Discord.
So,
I don't know if he wants like. Oops, that's not how you spell admin.
Come on. Are you boy?
I'm going.
yeah, I'm awkward. So, good for me. Hi, this is
DJ Accurate. Good night, admin.
voice and the face behind Abbott Gaming. Hi. Yeah, I'm awkward. So, good for me.
Good for me.
Nice.
Oh, you're fine, admin gaming. Come on.
Yeah.
It's only awkward if you make it awkward.
Even then, it's still pretty awkward. Just kidding.
No. You tell me when to drop.
Yeah. I'll tell you when to drop.
Yeah, Dakota, I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. It helps out the channel, helps my morale.
And
all that
drop
good stuff.
northeast.
You
Boy.
mean East?
Yeah, east.
Oh, are we going far?
Yeah. Don't go directly down. Actually, not too far. By the
Where?
ruins. Like this little.
Oh, yeah.
I could really use a freaking Hardee's burger right now. Because in Louisiana, we don't have Carl's Jr., we have Hardee's.
Yeah.
Oh man, I just got hungry. Damn it! I can't be eating that. Yeah, I can. Screw it. Who cares?
Yeah, you
Going to
don't
the
care.
gym. I'm going to the gym. It's like I'm not going for the 6-pack. I'm just going for the gains. What?
No.
Yeah, that's literally my internal dialogue every time I want a burger. Like, but
Yo,
you're going to the
someone
gym.
landed here, like right next to me.
I hope you're not. I hope that statement's not accurate. I got a micro Uzi though.
I got it. Oh, right here.
I'm going. Where? Where? Is he?
Down, boy! Trying to shotgun
God.
me.
I'll take his backpack.
He's freaking naked.
Oops. What did I take? Yeah, I took the pistol ammo. You can have it back.
Hey, Mod's back from the Netherlands. Yo, Mod, I appreciate you. You tune in.
Does he go to the? Does he go to the Netherlands like every day? I feel like he's.
No,
always
I think he's just like, I'm back, and he's from the from the Netherlands, and he has to.
Cause I feel like you say that every time, and it's fake. That's the actual town I live in, not fake. Dang. Admin doesn't mess around. Yeah, Mexus freaking nailed him. I'm taking.
Hey, you're watching me, boy?
Who?
Saruyahildi.
Alright, peace out, Sawu, do that.
Sawu, do that. I appreciate you stopping by, boy. Always love seeing you.
Same.
Ugh. I'm getting like... I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just ate a 4x4.
Ah, damn.
So... Like your video, so cool. I appreciate that, Mod. Thank you.
Oh! Almost fell in the church.
I don't
Anything
really
good
know where to
inside? Are you not in the church?
go. No.
Oh, crap. That jump is not very accurate.
Just so you know, I'm not in the church. Oh, God!
Where? Ah, you're down there. You're hella far from me.
Oh, this dude was like checking his inventory because he wasn't moving.
Oh, okay.
Dang, he was hella.
Yeah, he is watching you. Oh crap! Did I just get shot? What was that? Didn't make a noise. Just like a small.
When I'm like getting ammo and stuff, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, you get used to it. Was it this peasant?
Yeah.
What did I just pick something up? Extended mag. Yeah, I don't need that. Also, I have 2 Uzis.
I need a backpack. Did he have one?
He does have one. 9mm. Take a bit 9mm. What is this? Ooh, alright. We're in like big boy territory, so you're gonna have to be a little bit careful. Do you know who Mexus is? Ooh.
No, he doesn't. Bye, Dark Lord. I love you. How's it going, Christian? Is it okay if I call you Christian, or do I have to call you Christian?
Christian.
Christian. Will I ever do a vlog? Probably. You know, never say never.
Probably means like most likely. Like the probability is that I will do one.
Like, you know.
You will?
Probably.
Do I have a gun IRL or not? Nah, dude. I live in California, boy.
You have a freaking.
The only time I've ever seen a gun
airsoft gun.
is like on a police, like a policeman, and besides that, a gun store I went with my dad because he likes guns too. So.
Call me whatever. There you go. You're a Christian from now on.
Dang.
Easier for me to say instead of Christian.
Yeah, I ain't no Christian. Crap. What did I pick up?
When? Oh no, it depends on my life.
Oh crap, you scared me. I looked at my map and I thought you were like the blue thing in the mini map.
Booga 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 booga. Did I scare you? Booga booga booga.
Alright, where should we go? We're in the circle.
Booga booga
let's go to Flood City.
Booga booga booga. I died last time I Flood City.
Yeah, it's a bad place. Well,
Let's go.
It's not sad. It's whatever.
My German Shepherd loves club crackers. What are club crackers?
I don't know. Why do I have another Uzi?
My dog is too spoiled to the point to where he won't eat anything that isn't dog food. I mean, like human food.
Yours really?
He'll eat his dog food, you know, because he doesn't have a choice for his main nourishment.
Yeah.
But treat wise, he won't eat any dog treats.
Yeah, my dog's not fond of dog treats.
But freaking, we take out a piece of ham.
Yeah.
Ooh, babe, like lunch meat.
Yeah.
Oh man, he goes straight for it.
I don't know what you mean by lunch meat, but whatever.
Like,
Is that the
do you know
brand?
that thin meat? No, thin meat.
Oh.
That
Yeah.
you like put in like a sandwich.
Yeah, I didn't know that had like a very specific.
It's not really that specific, just lunch meat.
I didn't know that that was a thing. Ooh, ACOG, yes. Holographic, yes. No guns though. Booty.
I got a whatchamacallit, whatever.
M16, M416. Which one?
I have a no. You already have a Hummer, don't you?
Yeah, level 1.
Yeah, you're good.
You've got a level 2.
I have not found good things lately. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. When I played like last time,
Yeah.
I was finding like it seems like they kind of nerfed it.
No, it's just that I'm like not really aiming for like high.
Yeah.
I already.
Remember how that's how it was in like Minecraft Hunger Games.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know where like the good chests are.
Yeah.
But so do other people.
Yeah. And is it worth it? You know?
Christian is like, ah, booga booga, OMG, I'm dying. I'm laughing so hard, booga booga booga.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I didn't think that was that funny.
Yeah. I actually thought.
I mean, I'm not.
Not only did I think that was unfunny, I mean not funny. I thought it was unfunny, like the opposite of funny.
Dang. Sphinx has always been my biggest critic.
Why everybody you're your biggest critic, not me.
No, definitely not.
I mean I'm your biggest troller.
You
I
roast
don't
me
really
all
criticize
the
you.
time.
Yeah, but that's like okay, whatever.
Whatever.
Whatevs.
Stop talking to me.
Yeah. I'm just trying to like arguing. Do I feel like it? Nah.
Nah.
Not really arguing, but whatever.
No, we are arguing. First fight, gone wrong. Pogo gone wrong.
Oh my God, so many
Hey.
scopes.
Yo, guess who's here?
Just give me a freaking gun, please. So many
This is
scopes
here.
in here.
Who this man?
Pudis.
Who this man? Who this man is like OG.
Yeah,
Like
Pudis.
Who this man has been subscribed to me since like 50 subs.
Okay. I've been subscribed to you since like 50 subs. I never
You've been
get anything.
oh, there's an AK down here.
Ooh, where?
AKM.
Nice. Ooh,
Right
AKM.
under me.
That's
Yeah.
rare.
Really?
Yeah.
I want it.
I mean, it's not really rare. It's just a
want it.
full auto gun. It's not very accurate. Can
That's
I have
fine.
ammo for your M16? The 5.56? Because I know the AKM uses something else.
There you go, boy.
Thank you. Ooh. Do you want a scope?
Yeah.
Well, too bad.
Okay.
Because I only got one.
Really?
Actually, you can have this one. I'm going to use the 4x scope on my...
I only have
boy.
one. Just kidding. I hate you.
Do you know? I have like 6 guns and I can shoot them whenever I want it. Just not at people I had to take a class save. Yeah. That's how it goes. I mean, it's cool to have a gun, but I mean, I don't need it, right? Like,
I'm still here. Hey,
what am I gonna do with the freaking gun?
Christian is saying, LOL, PewDiePie is live. His streams are boring.
I like
But-
his streams.
But my booga booga boogie
It's like,
really entertaining.
do you like my sister? I don't know your sister, boy.
Is your name Nick Compton? No, but I am from Compton.
Is your name Nick Crompton? What up,
He
top 10 for
is-
life?
I do not want to say it. What dog? I don't have a dog, man.
Fat, you mean?
I have a turkey.
He is. I do not want to say it. Nick Crompton, and by that do you mean like Chubbs?
That's so. Hey, I got a freaking dope coat.
He's got to lay off the freaking burgers.
You
or
gotta stop
something.
being a jerk.
I watched.
That's bullying.
I watched one vlog and he's got like 10 pounds of food next to him. I'm like, damn, dude.
No, he doesn't.
Nick Crompton, chill, boy. I watched one.
You need to stop being a freaking bully.
I'm not bullying, dude.
Yes, it is.
I'm telling him to take care of himself. You know, be healthy. I'm advocating for his health. I mean, his weight doesn't affect me at all, but it will affect
And
him.
Christian's just laughing. Ha 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 ha.
She's a mod with over 1. Dang, admin. Nice.
Oh.
Who? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sad now.
Yeah, because I ain't no model.
Freaking admin's just gonna like link like a random model from Instagram. She's the #1 model in South Dakota, North Dakota. South North Dakota. North Dakota.
Top 10 for life. What message? Ooh, is a Vector good?
Yeah, it's a good submachine gun.
Better than the ump?
Yeah. Rare, so probably better. There's a police vest.
I've never seen the Vector. I remember you using the Vector in Call of Duty.
Yeah. There's a police vest too up
And
over here.
there's another there's a helmet level 2 over here.
There's a police vest level 2 in the house adjacent.
And there's a more 556 ammo.
Yeah. Alright, I'll go get some 5.56. Oh, damn! Tell me when you find that freaking coat. Another coat. You dropped the AKM.
Oh shoot!
It's mine now, boy.
No, give it back.
I know. Why'd you drop it?
For the Vector.
Oh. Well, which one do you have instead? Oh yeah, tons of 5.
I meant to search. I meant to switch to the Vector with the ump.
Oh. So I have a long range.
Do you know the red arrow smacks? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oops.
No, you're okay, Aaron. Yo, have a great night's sleep. Have a great night's sleep.
Yes.
Not yet. Right now, at the moment, I'm not making any mods.
Yeah, me neither. Oh, you left your holographic on that. Nice. I was gonna put mine on it, but when I'm searching houses, I'm gonna have my ump out. Yeah, just in case I find any unwanted. Oh, are we far? And
No,
we're still
Gucci.
in the area. Nice. City of Compton. City of Compton.
I meant top 10 for life. What did you say that you had to retract the message? Like, did you want to ask me something?
Hey, what up, Chris?
The red arrows are like jets. Kind of,
Yeah.
kind of like the Blue Angels type thing.
What?
Let's head to the school. Yeah.
What?
Let's head to the school.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, boy. What school?
Over here, there's a school.
Which way? Oh, okay. Is that where is my thing accurate?
Oh no, but let's check this house real quick.
All right. You check that. I'll check the little shed over here.
Police level 2.
I hear a car. Oh, wait, no, I don't. Maybe I do.
And go.
It's just like background noise from your freaking mic, I guess.
Oh.
Where
Oops.
you on Instagram? I could put out my Instagram, but there'd be no point. Ooh, AK.
Yeah.
AKM? Oh. AKM? Oh, so maybe the AKM is not that. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, the AKM isn't anything special. It's just the AK. For some reason, I thought it was like the machine gun AK. Crap, why did I pick up that ammo? I don't need it. I do.
Don't need any of that crap. Man, here in Macedonia is too much hot.
Same with here in California.
Where's Macedonia?
Europe, I think.
Dang.
Were you on Instagram? I was when I was seeing your video. Ooh, what is that? SK12 Shoddy.
Oh, I wrote your name wrong. Oh, okay, no worries.
Where are you on Instagram? Where are you on Instagram? Dude, I need a dope trench coat, boy. You gotta tell me if you see one.
I love mine that was freaking red. Like,
yeah, those are cool.
last time we played.
Alright, let's go to the school, right?
Maroon trench coat.
Oh,
I don't have the Snapchat either. I'm probably gonna, get on that. I'll get on an Instagram. I just don't know how I'm gonna post, daily content and stuff without posting the picture of me, and without posting memes.
you can post a picture of like your hand like doing stuff. Okay, never. That was a little too weird. Nobody wants to see your hand doing stuff. All right.
Exactly.
Just like you doing stuff.
Not yet.
But not your body.
At the moment, I'm not making any more mods, just because I have too many.
I think I've seen it before. Admin.
Yo, I kind of really want to win this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, top 10 for life. It's not GTA. Therefore, people are like, nope.
One could cover the opposite sides. Yeah. If we were good.
Don't worry, Uncharted 4 is gonna come out soon. I'm gonna make like a playthrough of that.
Alright, look on the roof.
The Call of Duty beta is coming out soon. I'll be playing that.
Oh, this place has been looted.
Don't you worry. I just really want new games.
There could be someone in here. That's why I'm doing like a rush style.
And you, yeah.
Yeah, this place has been looted. Nothing good inside this building.
I'm kind of down to just stay in that building for now. Don't you think?
This one?
Yeah.
Just kind of camp here.
Yeah.
Bad news is that like we're up against a pretty tall hill. They can like shoot down against us.
Not if we're on the freaking roof.
Yeah, even on the roof. I'm on the roof right now. Like some bad guys could probably see me up here.
Well, then we'll just make sure we watch.
Alright, Aaron, man. Peace out, boy. You see?
Actually, yeah, I don't like this roof.
It's like, it's a little bit weird.
Yeah. How about that roof over there?
Alright.
You know, the one
Yeah.
just across. Because that has like solid walls, not rails.
Yeah.
I would love to see you, Max, my bro. Ben, see me where?
You
Catch
could get
me
inside
outside.
the
How about that?
green.
I don't mind not being
house.
Oh, we gotta run.
Nah, if we stay like indoors, we're good.
Oh,
Just
okay.
yeah, don't go to the roof. Ooh, another level 2 helmet, I think. Yeah. Ooh, but it's ACU instead of Marpat. I like it.
And the area is restricting. We're not in it.
Let's wait for the blue. And then,
Okay.
oh god, we'll head for the hill.
Yeah, we're kind of screwed right now.
This place.
I don't like the situation.
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's a little too late to move out though.
Do I know Ellie Goulding? I mean, I've heard of her.
Do I know her personally? No. Ooh, a scar. Don't mind if I do. Oops.
I can. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that scared me.
That landed on us, didn't it?
Yeah.
Bro, I can dance. Look.
One sec. So many hollows.
Look.
That's not green. You could get into.
Alright, let's go, yeah?
Yeah.
Might as well get into a place that's like actually inland so we don't have to stress out last minute. Because then if if we're fighting against the border and people. Oh god, how'd you get out? You scared the crap out of me. You were still inside.
Simon.
Oh god.
Simon Crowell. I don't even know who that is.
Christian is saying you pretty much just dabbed with our dance moves.
I don't know.
There's a
About,
little house like right here.
what is that?
Oh,
Is
no,
that like a
it's an
bunker?
arch. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm wondering what this thing is. Do I? Oh, cowl. Yeah, I do.
Hey, Tom Chubb. Did we talk about a Tom Chubb?
No.
I can't tell if this is just like odd one out again.
Tom Chubb.
This is legitimately nothing.
Are you calling odd one out chubby?
How's it going, Tob?
Tob? Alright, I want to stay in the tree line.
I'd we would rather be inside that 2-story house. You see it?
Yeah, but I don't want to go too risky, you know? Let's get to the top of this hill. I think I saw like a good like sniping position.
How about I hear the airplane? It's gonna drop something.
No, remember what happened last time?
Listen. We don't go for it. Oh no, it's too far.
We go
I
for
was
the
gonna say
people
we
around it.
don't go for it, and with our scopes,
We shoot
we can
people.
just kill everyone. You know that goes for it.
I don't know. I don't even know. Did it already launch the?
Yeah, it's like straight in front of us where we're heading.
Oh God.
We actually might have a good vantage point because I believe it's on the other side of this hill.
All right. Let's see. Watch that house. That one over there.
Yeah, I was saying watch that house. Yo, Tom, I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart.
There's a little bit
Yo,
of a delay
Optical
between.
Python, I appreciate you so much for stopping by, boy. Thank you.
Oh crap.
Have a great night's sleep.
Why is there no hollow on this thing?
Energy drink's good, right?
This is where. Yeah, it's good. Ooh, I like that gas mask. Never mind. No, I like my ballistic mask more.
Yeah, sure.
Oh crap, nope. Level 2 police vest, not dropping that. Level 2 backpack, yes.
There are bunkers in the map. Oh.
Oh, I already had one. Yeah, there are bunkers. I've been to them. Oh, we're barely in the circle right now.
Yeah.
Can I make you a taco? I could. Can you make me a burger?
I feel like a lot of people are gonna be running this way though.
Wait, what did you say? Suryaki's like, I'd agree with Mexis on this one. Oh, like sniping.
Hey,
at
there's a
the-
buggy right here.
No, too risky. Where did the
No,
crate land?
Like, do you see it? Do you see the buggy right there?
No. Oh yeah. That and somebody crashed it.
Yeah.
That house maybe.
I don't feel safe at all, dog. No, that house is outside.
Yeah, so there could still be people inside. I'm just gonna zoom in. No, I don't think there's anyone in there.
Have you ever found a 15x scope? I have not. Just as
I don't even know
much
if
as
that's
I'm
it.
down.
Yeah.
Of course, Justice. You got it, boy.
Why do some days like my eyes just get like wrecked by that freaking?
Kyle is saying that buggy's bait.
Could be. But it's pointing towards us, so probably means he tried coming up towards us, you know? He's not gonna...
I just want to be in a house.
Let's go this way. Let's kind of like skirt around. Oh god, the circle's actually pretty small now. But we have the upper ground.
Yeah.
Oh, we're so good with this upper ground.
There's still a lot of people alive, too.
Oh, dude, we're freaking golden with this upper ground.
You think? Oh god, I hear shooting.
Yeah, to my left. I reckon I might be able to snipe him. There's literally a reason. Oh, there's the guy.
Boy.
There's the guy under me.
Under you?
Yeah.
Like where?
Crap.
Can you put it like on your map?
Like under me, like.
Oh, I see him.
Yeah. Is that you?
Yeah. Except I have booty aim. I hit him once,
That's good.
but
Is that a bullet hole? Yeah, there's a bullet hole over here. Alright, you good? You cover
I don't
me
see
from
him
over
anymore.
there. I wonder if he's like trying to flank me through here. The wall's coming in though, so I'm gonna have to press up against over here.
I don't see him anywhere.
Let's see.
Oh god, I'm freaking scared!
I think he maybe ran down the hill because he's a little
I
baby.
love you, top 10.
That means he's in front of us somewhere. Oh, what is that noise? Oh, it's like a very muffled, suppressed. Yeah, I don't see him. I don't see him at all. That car was bait, but like for who? We're in the circle.
I just turned my surround sound on.
Ah!
Where?
I don't know. No idea.
Yo, you're not in the circle?
I am. Oh, not anymore. I'm going to you, alright? I'm gonna take...
Alright.
It's just way safer with you. I don't know why. I'm probably getting sniped.
Run, boy.
I'm going. Oh man, everyone's like laying low. Probably have the freaking graphics on low. Because the freaking grass does not let you see it all. Freaking little cheaters.
Oh god, this circle is so small.
And there's only 21 people.
That's a lot.
Do you have like any yeah, I know, for the size of the circle I'd expected
Do you
more.
have any what?
Like drinks or like...
Yeah, I have a lot. Should I use
yeah.
them?
No, give me one, boy. I got shot. You have full health. Should I use them? I mean...
just used my painkiller.
Alright, drop... Why? Don't use up your things. You have full health. Did you drop anything? Oh, yeah. Thanks. Don't use up your stuff, dude. We're probably gonna end up getting shot up. Why?
Because I thought it gives me like extra health.
Not your painkillers, your energy drink.
Oh!
Ah, crap. Where?
I'm behind us.
Behind us?
I think so. Yep. The tree right here.
Alright. He probably doesn't
behind
expect me.
Behind the tree. Right here.
What?
Dang it!
I shot him like a million times. How is he he had a friend behind another tree. Maybe... I shot him so much, though. Let me rewatch that. That scream was a 10 on the scale meter. I need to rewatch that. Oh, we were so good, too, and we were right on the edge. I forget about stragglers. You know? I'm watching right now.
Oh, that pisses me off, dog. Dakota, it's just from my
Oh man, I shot him so many
Void
times.
Corsair Void headphones.
What is?
My surround sound that I turned on, because it like lets me know more like where they're coming from, you know.
Yeah.
The only reason I don't use it is because it makes you sound weird. It makes you sound like you're coming from like everywhere at once. You know?
Yeah.
It gets confused or something.
Oh, that was a dumb death. I shot him like 10 times. At least we're in the top 10. All right. Damn, I got a new mouse. I can. That sounds cool. Oh, dude, I really want that keyboard.
Oh, I can buy crates now.
Yeah, which one?
The random weekly crate. But I can't choose, right?
I don't know.
Just one of those.
I think
You will receive one of the following.
Oh,
Hopefully,
okay.
I get a Survivor crate.
You don't want the Gamescom?
No.
They're limited edition skins.
I'll have time.
The other ones
later.
aren't limited.
Yeah, but the weekly crate was freaking 700.
Oh. Alright, I'm gonna go pee.
I bought it, but now where is it?
Alright. You go to character and then you go to redeem and stuff.
Open. That sucks. What a waste of freaking money. Yay. Yay. That's so cool. Yay. Worth it. So worth it. Yay. Maybe you'll win next round if you get more nice stuff. I had a lot of nice stuff. Ben, don't worry about it, boy. Admin Gaming, I appreciate that you're invested in the stream, dog. Ah, yay. Yay, boots.
Dude, so you want to know what I noticed?
Do you want to know what I noticed?
Sure.
The pub gets freaking a crappy ass game that I hate with my whole life.
Anyways, when I go to the gym, right, I always see these like really jacked people. But why is the freaking skipped leg day meme so freaking real? Like there's like these guys and they're jacked and they also have like these huge quads and I'm like, damn, okay, those guys are cool. But then you see like the teenagers, like our age, a little bit older, they always have like freaking stick legs, and they never wear shorts. They wear like, you know, freaking joggers.
Like athletic pants.
But they wear the long socks and those are kind of tight and you can see just how stickly their legs are. I'm like, I don't want that to be me. I mean, my legs.
I feel like my legs are freaking dope, af.
Dude, mine are freaking dope.
And I wear Nike pants, but they're like fitted. They're like, you know, kind
of
tight.
Same exact with me.
And it shows all my hammies, all my quads, boy.
I did legs 2 days ago and my legs are sore. Maybe from like sitting in this weird position. But I'm doing calves like consistently.
Oh, so do you want to know what's stupid about?
Yeah.
Papa? So I spent, you know, all my money on some damn gray boots.
Yeah. I spent my money on a dirty shirt.
I'm having a lot of fun with Pugger right now. Like a lot.
Dude, I'm the one who spent a ton of money on a bloody tank top. and a t-shirt striped.
Let's go.
It's just how the cookie rolls. Oh, I guess we're not waiting for Silly or Justice.
Oh no, we are.
Oh, too late.
Oh. Actually, no. I said Justice, and then he didn't even talk in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Wait, Justice, are you gonna play? Hurry up and tell us. You have like 40 seconds. Cause we can just back out, right?
No. Really? What up, TK? TK, Donkey Kong. Luckily, people haven't been that annoying. You know. You know how they like talk in these big lobbies.
Yeah.
We always get so close. I want to do a zombie lobby.
Oh yeah, we will, John. Don't you worry. Rip Max's money. Surakal Hill. I was here.
Hey, what up, Dave? Dave, can you join yet?
Dave, you got 20 seconds for us to leave.
Yeah.
20 seconds.
So do we download it? Oh, do we download it at Battleground?
Chris said that he saw you yesterday. Oh, Dave, I guess you're too late.
Yeah, Dave, it's starting.
Alright, you tell me when.
Why does fire come out of the airplane?
Oh no. $40 game.
This just seems unnecessary, even if it's... Sorry, I can't join you today. Dave, where are you at, though? Like, still grandma's house area? A lot of people are gonna go to this shooting range.
Let me know. There's a water village right here.
Nah. It's like directly on the path. Alright, we're gonna go over here where I put my thing. East. And drop now. We're going far, by the way.
Like where? That huge town?
No, past it. Oh wait, no, not past it, before it. Past?
Where?
That little tiny town in the circle.
3 houses or 4?
You see how there's like a horseshoe? Not really a horseshoe, like a bump.
Yeah.
The middle, like
yeah,
the little
got
town in the inside of
got
it.
Got it.
In Los Santos. Oh, nice.
I can hit these houses right here, actually.
Okay, yeah, you hit those. There's nobody like behind us, right?
No one near us.
Oh yeah, that's good.
No one too near
There's
us.
people like, yeah, apartments and like school, but I think we're pretty good. My apartment, we just moved. Dang, Dave moved. Damn. No,
I
just
don't want to
kidding.
land on the roof.
Haha. Yeah.
Ah.
What?
I like took fall damage.
Yeah. Alright. Medkit. Nice. Those things are pretty rare. Alright, good. Backpack. Ooh, energy drink.
Can I not use my bandage? How do I use it?
Your bandage?
I guess I have to be shot or something.
Yeah. What do you mean you want to use it? Why would you want to use it right now?
Because I'm down health already.
Oh, no. You have to take an energy drink. That's too high for bandages. Yeah, maybe. Probs, Dave, probs. I feel like I'm seeing people outside. Nope, just me probably. Come on, just give me some good old loot. To boot. Shoddy, I'll take that. Come on. What a dope gun. Open.
I'm getting good stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Damn. I'm not. I just got a shotgun. What weird tiling for freaking that.
Did you hear about Neymar? I did, boy.
Yeah, you got signed to Paris Saint-Germain.
Paid!
What?
That dude's getting paid.
Like 200 mil? 300 mil?
Yeah, it's like 40 mil a year, dog.
That's nuts. That's way more than any football player.
No, it's actually not. Yo, don't be mad that I speak the truth. You act like I get offended. I don't.
Okay, whatever. Triggered. I'll try, Chris.
Whatever, trigger. Wow, you got me.
Yeah, alright. Keep talking. Triggered. Wrecked. What is that shirt?
Christian said it equals out to $1 a second.
What does?
How much Neymar is getting paid?
Damn.
That's gnarly,
Oh,
dog.
there's a car out.
Do you know what's even more gnarly than that?
What?
That clubs have that type of money to spend.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, he's one of the top players.
I know.
He's
but
definitely
still.
Brazil's top player. Yeah, I know.
I guess
There might be a car headed towards you. Because
Really?
your character's not as expected. Is anyone really what you expect? What? What do you mean by that? Because your character's not as what I expected. It's what I expected.
I mean, the character customization in this game's kind of booty.
They said that they're gonna like go ham. They wanted to make like the best character creator in any game.
They haven't.
Yeah, so far it's just choose from one of these heads, choose from one of these hairstyles. Is there good stuff over there?
It's like choose, not really.
You said you were getting good stuff.
Yeah, but like decent, not good.
Are you talking about soccer or American football? Soccer. Neymar is Brazilian, so yeah. US is like the only place that I don't know. City of.
Yeah, I'm getting all light color stuff so that people can see me everywhere.
Oh, we're not in the zone, by the way.
Oh, we're hella far.
And I'm freaking walking out of it. Is it contracting?
No.
Okay, so.
So let's go now, yeah?
Wait. I came all the way over here. Let me at least search this.
Alright.
Damn it, nothing
Yeah,
good.
you and should get a Snapchat. We could. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know what I'd snap about, you know? I barely use like my regular one now.
Exactly.
Ooh, vector? Don't mind if I do. Crap. There's a oh, that's you. I was like, there's a freaking car.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
What?
Nothing. I just brought the car because I knew we'd need it to like, you know, get to the circle.
Yeah.
Once we're at the circle, we can ditch it, but now we can actually spend more time here. If need be, you know.
Yeah. If we
Which
need.
we can are now because the circles contract
Yeah.
in 30 seconds.
So nothing
So
pretty good.
honestly, nothing too good. I just got, you know, a level 2 backpack.
Ooh, 2x scope.
No scopes. You have like a red dot or something.
I have a 2x scope.
No, Maxis inside its Sphinx. I don't have an Instagram. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Alright, so this place is looted.
Why are you like kneeing on it?
Kneeing on it? There's that better for you?
Yeah.
Set the car's bait though after you get it, alright? Is this your first time? It isn't. I'm experienced as hell, boy. Wow, we're good on gas. Oh crap, you know what? I don't want to go over there.
Tell me where.
Mm,
I'm just doing like the quickest line right now.
alright. Yeah, that's fine. The problem is that because everyone from the school and the apartments are going to be like around that hill. So let's go over here.
We have time to go around. Just tell me left or right.
Left. You see the little blue dot? Southeast?
Yeah. Like we definitely have time to go around. Especially with how much gas we have.
Yeah. Damn, these things use. If you hold shift, you get a boost.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Oh, okay.
You tell me when I should start heading to the circle.
Yeah, I head now.
Yeah?
Yeah. A little bit more to the left.
God,
Oh.
this thing freaking drifts.
Yeah, there's good.
How's it going, sour face? Hey.
Yeah, I got the vector.
Shout out to you, Lace Blitz Plays. How's it going, boy?
Here. Car?
We good here?
Airplane, maybe? I hope so. Oh. Red zone way back there, but I can hear it here.
There we go, boy. Let's ditch it.
Yeah. Damn, that makes so much extra noise. Why does it rev when you get off? You know? It's like,
Yeah, see you later, admin. I appreciate you being here, boy. And then good night to you, brother.
yeah, peace out, admin.
Let's see this little shack.
I Yeah.
Bugga, bugga, bugga. Booga, booga, booga.
There's like various little.
Christian is still laughing about my booga, booga, booga joke.
Ha ha.
Bye, Ben. I appreciate you.
Anything good in there? Ooh, level 3 backpack. Don't mind if I
Damn.
do. Ah, that's just
Honestly,
level 2. The flip.
Nothing in here, dog.
Oh, level 2 still better than level 1.
Nothing upstairs.
Yeah. There's like a little logging camp down here, I believe. Nothing probably too good, but.
Oh, booga, 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 booga.
Oh man, I don't have any. All my guns are close range, which is not good at all.
I got an
I have a Vector.
pistol, and then a shotgun.
Yeah, Vector, shotgun, and pistol. Here's the logging camp.
I don't know, but it's so funny to me, says Christian. Yo, what can I say? I'm a comedian. I'm a poet. I don't even know it.
There's like a little. There's a house over here. Probably find better loot here.
Let's go. We did so good last game. Damn.
Yeah, we got so close. It's just mostly about surviving and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, we did have good loot.
Stragglers. People came up behind us.
Damn it.
Yeah. Sukaria says get ready to get shot at. Thanks for that encouragement.
I love how you pronounce his name. Sukaril.
Could you not tell us why?
Put that up
There's
there.
nothing here, boy. Like this house is booty af.
Alright. Well, I got a dope M4.
Oh, why?
So- Well, I did. Not too much ammo for it, though. Do you want to hit down there?
Hey, Captain Panos. What's up, boy?
God. Why are my graphics settings so high?
Same.
You know?
The shrubbery. Sounds good, Justice. You tell us when. I can tell that I don't play on keyboard a lot because my pinky. You can
From shift?
tire. Yeah,
Dude, try playing GTA. Do you want to go to that house over there?
if you want.
Alright.
Get the frying pan.
It's actually bulletproof.
See, Akil said, "Shot with love." What's bulletproof?
The frying pan. So if you have it on your back, it like
Damn.
it absorbs it. It's kind of like a shield.
Damn.
Yeah. Shot with love. What does that mean, though?
I don't know.
Nice.
Maybe he was trolling, and then
Ooh,
when I
this
called
place
him out,
got
he was
looted.
like,
There might be people holding out here because this is a good
Yeah.
holdout point. Oh, is that you? Did you open the door?
"Yeah."
Oh, okay. Probably shouldn't be in first person. I think whoever was here left. Ooh, combat pants white. You know I like them white pants.
So did I, but I ditched them because I didn't want to have white on.
What you talking about, Willis? How long have you been doing YouTube
Let
for?
me turn my volume up.
I haven't been doing
Yeah.
YouTube for too long. I mean, I've had my account for freaking since 2008, but I've only been live streaming for like 2 months.
Sphinx could have been the next Rice Gum.
I don't even know what
What?
Rice Gum does.
He waited too long.
Oh,
Damn, that's loud now.
yeah. Why did you shoot it?
Because I wanted to see my new volume sound.
You could have done other things besides.
Ow!
Now they
Ow!
know where we
Ow!
are. You
Ow!
see? Do you see what you
I
do?
got shot. Get inside. Get inside. Get inside. I
Is
got
that
shot.
outside?
Like I
From
got
where?
sniped. I don't know. Ow. Ow.
Great. You had
Ow.
to shoot and give away a. That's. Oh
Ha.
my god.
Shut up, Sphinx.
This is like the worst area to do that.
Shut up. Don't make me feel bad.
You better feel bad. From where? Were you in here?
I don't know. I was outside. Yo, hi Dan and hi TK.
Damn it, yeah, that doesn't work for me.
Helvete.
Crap.
I love how, does the energy drink say freaking Red Bull on it?
No, I doubt it. There's a guy outside. Yeah.
Where?
It's pretty crazy, Xura. I don't know, dude. Change my white pants for white pants.
Maybe
Oh, yeah.
you shouldn't have shot.
Yeah. Good one.
I mean, we're pretty Gucci where we are, though, you know?
Yeah.
Let's still going, Robbie.
Were you in this balcony right out here?
Yeah.
Where do you think the shot came
Hill.
from? The hill? Oh god. There's a guy with a car, probably 8 times scope sniping. I'm looking at the hill. Luckily, I'm not seeing anyone. My scope's pretty good. It's only 2 times, but you know.
I had to stop in before I went to bed. I appreciate that, Robbie, from the bottom of my heart.
There's a guy outside now. What do you mean?
Oh no! Cover the stairs, though. Yeah.
Okay. Is that you making that?
Are we
weird
not
noise?
in the circle?
Yeah, we are. Oh crap! Now we're not.
Oh, we're screwed.
All right, let's go.
We just gotta go. Run.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn it! Hopefully they're not waiting for us. Yeah, I want to kind of take like the long way. Actually, through this like little forest path, because I don't want to be out in the open. You know?
Yeah.
Oh! Left. Damn it! Right there. If we left like 10 seconds later, we would have seen them. And Alpha's just telling me right now. Damn it! Right when I look at you guys. Right when I look at the chat. Damn it. Why does it always go like this? Press X to yeah. Yeah, damn it, Alpha. I didn't see it until I'm dying.
I told you. Dang it.
Damn it. If we left like 10 seconds later. Oh, hopefully they die. Look, you see the...
I left.
Oh, I want them to die. The blue line just passed them. The blue line just passed them. Little dweebs are hanging behind a tree. They're gonna die. Good riddance. Little plebs.
Yeah, start new game.
Yeah, sorry, I was just exiting that match. Is Justice joining? Who said he was joining?
He's up later.
Damn,
Hello,
it's already
Cabbage.
3 a.m., boy. What do you mean later?
Yo, I'll change your feed one.
Oh, you disable chat? Why?
Live chat. Slow chat. Right?
Nope, all of it.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, you turned off all chat.
That was a mistake.
Dude, if I didn't try to comment, you would have just left it like that, and you'd be like, "Why is nobody commenting?"
I know.
It's 6 a.m. for freaking
No,
your
someone would
exo.
have definitely gone to
So I'm guessing you're East Coast,
your chat.
because it's 3 a.m. for me, LA time, Los
Can you press
Angeles.
ready?
Oh yeah, sorry. Oh man, we always get so close, you know? Whatever. I like it. It's fun. They need new maps though. I mean, to be fair, it's in early access, but yeah, I'm getting kind of sick of this. I like the black tank top and the hat and the khaki pants. Gas mask, goggles, Yeah, they do. The afro looks so funny.
I know.
Like when chicks have it too, it's funny. I don't know why I went for this style character. I'm watching you. Thanks, Pudis. Damn. One more game. Where are you? Oh, you're just messing around over here. Alright, check this out. Dude, so, oh, from Midwest, nice. So I watched, today, new episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And wow. Best freaking show ever. So good. Amazing. 10 out of 10 episode. 9 out of 10 episode. 9.5 out of 10 episode.
Wow.
Every episode is at least a 9 out of 10. This one was 9.5. It was amazing.
Dang.
It's super good. Everyone
I
wants to
know,
what
Robbie,
it
I
is.
know. Tell me when to
A lot of people go to the military base, so thankfully we're.
I appreciate you, Putis, from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, me too, Putis. Screw it. Let's go. We're going like coast village, like dock village. You see that? Where the dock is?
Where?
There's like a pier. There's like a pier / dock thing.
Oh, that's hella far.
It's not too far. I'm already like, just the village under it, you know.
Yeah.
And then we can, if we get good stuff, maybe we'll be able to control the bridge, which is pretty good power. All right.
Tell me when.
I'm gonna start searching north. All right. You start searching south.
I don't know what that means. Tell me the
top
houses.
the top buildings and going down, and you go at the bottom, the ones towards the bottom, and go up.
And I don't see any people. Oh, there's a lot of people here, boy.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't see any.
Yeah.
Damn it. Really? I did not expect that. Yeah, the shooting range has good loot. The problem is that a lot of people go. It's like a high. What is that? Damn it! I'm like trying to pick up trash. Ugh. Damn it. Alright, Uzi, not bad for close combat. If I put it in full auto.
Where's the upstairs to this place? What's up?
Oh, I hear a car already. What are these pants? Combat pants, alright. We're in the zone, so we're good.
Yeah.
Guy outside. Alright, I'll be careful. I hear the car. Oh man, I'm hungry. Ooh, hollow. Red dot, sorry.
Unfortunately, no good weapons for me.
Yeah. Nothing.
Psych!
Oh, okay.
Oh, I just kicked my turkey. I'm so sorry, boy.
The window you just saw.
Freaking, he's freaking under my desk.
Alright.
I just like extended my feet.
Because there's like a little delay. So I'll try to be careful. Damn, that guy's got better eyes than me.
I know.
Freaking telling me where to go and stuff.
I'm scared to go outside, dog.
Yeah. Ah, this place was looted. Ooh, that's scary. That door's wide open. Ah, and there's a... Ah, that pier looks sick.
Got a low chance of winning. Why? I don't know. So good. Keep.
I mean, yeah, probably a low chance of winning because, you know, it's like 90 players versus you. Ooh, nice. Hell yes.
Oh, AKM.
I got a scar.
Ooh, we won, boy.
Really?
I just found a crossbow.
Oh, okay. Nice troll.
I love how you actually believe me. Like, do you not know who I am?
Yeah, but I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, this place was looted too. Oh, that's scary. Door
You
wide
haven't
open.
seen anyone?
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone.
I want to get to you. I don't know how though.
Ooh. Oh. Please don't still be in here. Shoddy UMP 45. Taking that one.
There's a lot of players near you. I know.
Yeah, there's a bit. Damn it, that's 12 gauge. I want 9mm. Damn it, they can hear me reload. Oh, that's cringe. If they're here. Man, these guys probably have good loot. What the? Oh, that scared me. Are they in the roof? Maybe they jumped off.
All around.
No, they probably just left. Okay. You see anyone?
No.
Bandage. I'll take that 5.56 for my scar. I wish this had burst. Oh, I'm nervous. Have you seen anyone? Are we good? For now,
I haven't seen jack squat.
for now we're good, but yeah. Try getting the
I
drop.
heard shooting. I think.
UMP is on burst. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. UMP doesn't have. Oh, there. It does. Never mind. Yeah. Thanks for telling me.
Oh wait. Someone by the water tower. You see it?
Water tower. I don't even see the water tower.
By me. By me.
Water tower. Oh yeah. I see the water tower.
By me. I think in the red house.
Behind it.
I
Or
don't
next
see
to
him.
it?
They were. Oh yeah, out. Walking towards the barn to your left. If you're looking.
Oh
at me.
god, that's scary.
You see him?
No, but like that's right next to me. I was
Yeah.
gonna make my way to you. Alright, I see you. I see
Yeah.
where you are.
I don't
Damn
want
it,
to engage right now.
I was in a
So-
good position. Damn it!
Come.
Alright.
You're good. I only see one though.
I had a good rooftop
But come.
shot. That probably. Remember
The
we're
barn
playing
over
doing
here.
this.
Okay.
Which one?
This house that I'm looking straight at. This one.
Oh, okay. Uh-oh.
Oh. I knocked him out, but watch out for his friend at the barn probably.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh crap. There's
Right
someone here. Where? Where?
Oh, my freaking aiming's booty! Oh,
Where's he? Where's he?
Help! Right there! Get him! Get him! Right there! Get him! Oh, dang it!
I avenged you. Oh, I avenged you. That freaking
I know,
sucked
but
though.
You could have saved me.
Ah, that sucks.
I know. Whatever. I'll spectate you. Keep it up. If you do good, that means I get good money. So. Right?
Oh, that sucks. Yeah.
That's fine. Dang it! Yo, I could have killed him too. My aiming's just booty.
Flip.
Buddha's man said, "Knew it."
Freaking Pudis. Do you have anything good on you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that freaking recoil with the UMP. I had to switch to my freaking scar. 4x scope. Come to pappy, boy. I already have an angle for a grip. Quick draw.
Good night, Robbie.
Backpack level 3. No. Give me back my old helmet.
I had a level 3 helmet.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but I don't know if it like took damage.
It probably did. Yeah, thanks, sir. That was not. I wanted to do better. That was not good on my part. I mean, I survived. Yeah, I got hella damaged. And you had good guns, too.
Yeah.
Oh, you have
Damn
a
it.
bright blue shirt. I don't know why you use that. Oh,
You got good
dude.
style.
I'm gonna go up here. Kind of camp in that little tower for a little bit. Damn it. At least I flanked. Put the grip on UMP. Yeah. Let me do that. Grip on UMP. I don't have a grip. Damn it. Don't tell me.
Hey, how's it going, phone boss?
Alright, I'm gonna have to go loot those corpses. Yeah, it's hard to hear with in the rain.
Yeah.
Oh god,
Dang it!
that
I don't wanna
recoil.
be dead right now.
That freaking recoil. Can I put that on? Yeah, I can. Actually, no, I don't want that.
Sup, boy?
Oh man, that sucks. That was freaking good though.
I know.
Good-ish. I say that. That water tower's hella far. But you're probably talking about. Oh, there's so many water towers.
I know. I didn't realize.
I don't know.
Rip.
Should I just like
Ben is saying,
beeline
I am watching you playing War in the North. What's that?
I have no idea.
I wonder if this.
You don't know what war in the north is? And take the armor that's in the tower is better than the one that you have. Is it?
I wonder if this.
I have level 2 armor. Which one? This one? That's level 1. It isn't. I have level 2, so I'm good. That's just level 1. Unless you're talking about another one. This is scary. I'm probably not gonna make it. That means I can be a little bit more risky. So,
Really?
so screw it, yeah. You know? I'm by myself.
Still. Yeah, why not? And then we can just play and together.
Yeah, but mine has 21 health. Yeah, it just lost
Man,
one
this
health.
game awesome, boy. I like that you like it.
That one will have 100. I don't think so. I could make it. Where? Oh, maybe. Just don't count on it. If we couldn't make it with Mexus as a team, I don't have too much high hopes. Shoddy, nothing good in there. It's about to contract. And this place is way too open. Have I watched Rick and Morty season 3 episode 3? No, I haven't. If that was out today, nope. But thanks for reminding me, because I will. Claus. Oh crap. I'm not even in the line yet. I didn't realize it contracted that fast. I was gonna go to that house over there. How old am I? 13, yep. What he said. People saying I'm crazy on Twitter, but my life was to stay low.
Did you hear the thunder in the sky? Did, phone boss. Ayo, element drone has to go on, boy.
Pickle Rick! Yeah!
What's that?
You don't know what Pickle Rick is?
Wow.
Wow.
Bye, have a great time.
Oh, I've never been in this building. Interesting. I'll take that one. Maybe that one has better armor. Pickle Rick. Come on, Morty.
So, guess what? You know how I want to mount my monitors on the wall?
Yeah.
My really nice monitor that I bought has the mounting, like, oh, right there, boy, right
yeah,
there.
I know.
Oh, you got him. Oh, worry about the other. Worry about the other. Get him. You're good. Just wait. You wait. He'll die, you know?
Yeah.
Reload. I would reload. Nice.
Oh, God.
Okay, so the really nice monitor that I bought
Yeah.
has, like, you know, the capability to mount it.
Yeah.
My other one doesn't. I'm gonna have to, like, open it up and, like, drill into it. We're just gonna be a task, dog.
Ah, dude.
What's Pickle Rick?
Pickle Rick! 4x scope. I already have that. This guy had some decent stuff. Oh, crap. Oh, that's just the airplane. Oh, that scared me. Nothing, you know, that I really need. Did I already loot this guy's stuff? Oh, no, they both had 4x scopes. Jeez.
Damn, son. I was just like them being like bad place at the wrong time. Drill into the monitor. I mean, like, I have to take off the backing, and I'm gonna drill into the back. I'm not stupid. Don't worry, element drone.
Damn. Something about your dead, decaying corpse that gives me like the power to wreck fools. You know.
That's
but
good.
also don't want to get too drunk on those kills. You know?
Yeah.
Oh crap. Okay. Not too bad yet. And I'm in the open right now.
Cause I'm Millie Rock, all up in the sock.
Oh, that was good.
Oh. And they were loaded.
Yeah, they had decent stuff.
Just bad on their part, like wrong place at the wrong time.
I had the height advantage. Oh, that scared me. I had the like freaking height advantage.
Yeah.
You know.
I didn't realize how huge height advantage is.
I mean, just in general, it is. You know, we've got the. You know, I don't even know what it's called. What's the saying everyone says?
I don't know.
Oh God, planes. I'd rather go via coast. That lighthouse is pretty cool. Brr. Claus, what's that link
North,
to?
Morty. I'm still alive out of 27 peeps. Dang, Justice is freaking killing it right now.
Justice is freaking killing it right now, Morty. It's because he's always burping.
Of course.
Rick. I can't do Morty.
That's the type of crap that kids are watching nowadays.
It's one of the best shows. It's like rated one of the best shows, actually. It's super good. Really, really good show.
Yeah, so is Jake Paul.
It's so bad that you have to like freaking sarcastically say it to try to trigger me. I think.
I love how you know me.
Yeah.
And I love how you don't take it seriously. Someone's gonna like, I can just tell that, like, without hearing the rest, they're gonna be like, "What the? Do you know that Jake Paul's a horrible person?"
I don't have that. Really, I feel like there's more fans than non. You know.
What do you mean?
I feel like there's more fans than non-fans.
Yeah, duh.
Rick always stutters. Yeah, I love.
Play it once, but with my friend, but not on my own. What do you mean, Ben? Like winning?
I love the there's been people here. That means that there probably might be people here. Oh, I'm far. How far am I? Midway. All right, time to run. Oh God, I'm in the open right now. I'm gonna run around these rocks. I'll probably just watch it. Is it on adultswim.com? It's probably not. The first two were. They need to have it on Hulu, for Christ's sake. They have season 2, just not season 3 yet. Really good
There you
show.
go.
One of the best. I like the themes it tackles. Like really good themes that I like existentialism.
Like drugs.
No, not really. Guy in the house? Really? Damn, that guy's like my seeing eye dog.
Dang, son, how'd you miss that
Jeez.
guy in the house?
I don't even have time to look for the guy in the house because I gotta run. I have a minute. I believe I'll make it, but you know. You always get caught up. Oh, there's a crate over there. You see that?
Yeah. Oh, that's so far.
Yeah, I'm not going. No way in hell I'm going.
Don't
for
say that about Kill Paul.
I don't get it. Kill Paul?
John, I never referred to you as a kid. Who?
Rick and Morty is
War
really
in
good.
North won one game, but with a friend. What's War on North?
I have no idea. I hear some shooting.
Come on, Millie. And I'm in the.
I don't know. I think Rick and Morty. If you guys are gonna watch like an adult cartoon, if kids are gonna watch like an adult cartoon, Rick and Morty's like one of the best.
Dang, son.
It's so good.
Sphinxy poo.
I love
Speaking
it.
the truth.
I really. What is that? It's a rock. I really. Oh my God! This is all planes. You see that?
If you're gonna beg your mom to let you watch one show, make sure you watch Jake Paul.
There you go. Oh my God! This place is so in the open. I don't know if I should go like continue going around the corner. They're shooting.
Lord of the Rings. Like, is it like a video game online?
Yeah, Lord of the Rings. What? Nothing can beat Family Guy. Really?
I'm not gonna lie, Family Guy is really good. Come on.
It's good.
It's really good.
But it's
I've never seen Rick and Morty, so I can't say it's better.
It is.
But Family Guy has always been such a good.
It's good. It's really good. I really like what's his name? Seth. That was the name of the creator.
Seth Rogen.
No. Yeah, Seth Rogen.
Seth.
Rogen? I think.
No.
No. Seth Rogen's
The actor.
the actor that does a lot of stuff with James Franco.
I know who you're talking about.
Seth.
Oh, what? Oh, you guys are.
Seth MacFarlane.
This up. Okay,
Seth
there you go.
MacFarlane. Yeah, he's really good.
Awesome.
And
I'm about to look it up.
I'm looking forward to his show, his like Star Trek show. That looks funny. But Rick and Morty, honestly, I don't know. And what added the icing to the cake, Mexis, you know how I'm like a big H3 fan, right?
Yes.
So H3 is friends with the creator, the guy who does. He's the co-creator, and he also does the voice for Rick and Morty.
Wow.
So I watched the show before, like they were friends, but I see someone way far off.
Yeah.
But
My friend watched all Family Guy seasons 14 times. Oh, move! Oh, you got it right there.
Oh, I'm dead.
No, you're not.
Oh,
Oh, why'd you back
I
out?
thought I was crawling.
Whatever.
Whatever.
New game.
Why did I stop telling horror stories? They weren't that good.
And then people left. Like, people didn't like it. Why would we put our viewers to something that they don't like, you know?
Alright. Probably one more and that's it for me. Because these games go on for like freaking hours. Yeah.
there
Alpha, watch out. Thanks for that. Like 10 years after I died. But there's like lag on the stream, so.
Yeah.
Damn, that sucks. No, I don't want to unlink it.
Hell it there.
Oh, that sucks. All I watch is Netflix, so Family Guy, Cleveland Show, and American Dad, and I watch Family Guy like 5 times. Yeah. Yeah, if you ever get Hulu, Rick and Morty, the way to go. Really good. One of the best.
I feel like Hulu's never gonna compete with Netflix though. I feel like it's one of those things where it's like 24-hour Fitness versus LA Fitness. They're both huge companies, and they're both, you know, super successful.
Yeah.
But there will always just be more 24, you know, people, you know?
Yeah. So I'm on top rated TV shows.
Yeah.
And the first couple are like obvious. Planet Earth 2 is number 1. Like those documentaries are amazing. Like in Blu-ray 4K, I want to buy that. Number 2 is Band of Brothers, which is an HBO show.
You could buy it?
No, but I want to because I have a 4K TV, 60-inch.
Oh.
And I need to get a 4K Blu-ray player though.
Those
no,
are pretty cheap though, aren't they?
No. Blu-ray players, yes. 4K Blu-ray, those are relatively new.
Oh.
But the Xbox One X, guess what it's gonna have? Yep.
Are you gonna get it though?
Yeah. I will eventually.
Like for sure.
Most likely. Number 2 is Band of Brothers, which is an HBO show, like about World War II. Like one really good. A lot of actors. It's from 2001. A lot of.
Are you gonna click ready?
No, not until I'm done. Number 3 is Planet Earth 1. Number 4 is Game of Thrones, my favorite show. Amazing. Number 5, Breaking Bad, also one of my favorites. Number 6, The Wire, which I haven't seen. And number 7 is Rick and Morty.
That's dope.
It's really high up there. Like there's other shows like Sherlock. Wow, Avatar: The Last Airbender, number 14.
Yo, that
nice.
show was so good.
It was bomb, dude. I love that.
Oh my god, the ending.
Yeah. It was super good.
Yeah, how's it going, Bryant?
Alright, Klaus. Yeah, PewDiePie is live. It's been over, a little bit over 3 hours. I just want to get this
God,
round
that
up.
freaking.
What?
Avatar.
It was good.
It was honestly so good, dog.
Can I do the punch up? No. Alright, Klaus, sounds good, boy. As long as you stay in the stream and I can hear you. Alright, how about you? Wait, what? M? They change what M does?
What?
Oh, I can't look at my map. Why not?
I
My-
can.
Am I pressing something? I press M and it mutes master volume. Why is that? Yeah, it probably is.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
You tell me when it dropped.
You tell me, dude. You're in control this time.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably the last one. I watched season 2, then it took too long for season 3 to... Yeah,
Okay.
it's worth it. Trust.
3, 2, 1, now.
Alright, where are we headed
the marker?
to? Oh, yeah, yeah.
I just saw these houses and I'm like, why not?
This is Flooded City, by the way.
No.
Oh, no, it's the ruins.
Not those.
Oh,
No,
this little patch right
not
here?
ruins.
Oh, it kind of
Yeah.
sucks. You see, there's like 3 destroyed ones, and there's like only 2 real houses.
Yeah.
Which is kind of booty, but I'll go towards... You check those, I'll check the church.
Yeah,
and the
yeah, yeah,
ruins.
yeah. Dope.
Minus plus.
And there isn't anyone close to us. So
I also like South Park. That's also like a...
I like South Park too.
Because it's also
Did you-
very topical.
We need to do a playthrough of their
Fractured Butthole.
Game. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll
Yo,
be
the
fun.
way they titled it is so smart.
Yeah,
Fractured but whole.
yeah. It's
It
Fractured
is.
Butthole.
I know, but
Yeah, I like it.
ah, that's so clever.
Yeah.
Freaking play on words, boy.
Yeah,
I love play on words.
those guys are geniuses.
They really are. Like whatever their writing team is, they're freaking making it big. You know.
Yeah. Really good stuff. And their thing is always topical.
Yeah.
Like they only have like a season a year,
Yeah.
but it's always like with current events.
Yeah.
Like super good. I like South Park. But my number 1 cartoon right now is Rick and Morty. I also like Attack on Titan, but that's anime, not really cartoon. So, you know, we can have
There's
a
really
different
like that
discussion
big
there.
of a difference, or
Yeah.
it can't be classified.
I think anime is
That's
just
the same.
Japanese. Very different. Yeah, very, very, very different style, to be honest. I mean, if you think of like Family Guy and you try to compare it to something like, you know, South Park, or like
God, I need a
Just-
damn.
what I don't like about animes is they use the same formula.
Yo, I got a damn car.
Yeah?
KAR.
Oh, damn, that's really good for sniping.
Yeah. I remember using this exact gun in freaking World at War.
Yeah.
See you later, John.
Peace out, Johnny. On the spot.
I'm Johnny on the spot.
Oh, hell yeah, I got a brown coat.
If you find a
Oh, what?
scope, give it to me.
Alright.
Yo, Dakota, my boy, are you still here?
Another crossbow? I'll take the bolts.
I haven't seen my boy Dakota in a while, and I don't think he said bye.
He probably had to go to sleep.
No.
There's a freaking ammo.
4x scope, and I don't have enough space.
What is it? There we go. H1Z1's a good game. Yeah. Maybe I'll try that out. I don't know. Everyone's been recommending it. Did I get rid of my crossbow?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Screw it.
I need a backpack, Don.
Yeah, same.
Ah, you don't have one either.
Yeah. Alright, let's go search there. Oh! Did not realize that was a cliff. Wonder if anyone's died from that. Like in real life, just sprinting and then boom, cliff. Can you?
I feel like you can see.
Yeah. Then again, I mean, you know, there's people who
it's
watch Jake Paul.
Oh, we're really Gucci right now. Like we're sitting really pretty in
Yeah.
the circle.
Yeah.
Just the thing is, we really need backpacks, and I think a better gun.
Yeah. There's a trench coat back there, but I don't know if you want to go back there and get it.
Oh hell yeah!
I only have 30.
Where's the trench coat?
The,
Just
it's
like
the-
put a.
let me. I believe.
Put a marker, and
Here?
and I'll find it.
I think so. In that area.
Trench coat is so worth it.
Oh man, that roast.
Oh,
Whatever.
and a backpack,
I'm punching up. I'm
and a
sure he
med
does.
kit.
Oh, nice. I'm sure he doesn't care. So, yeah. He's doing his thing. I'm doing mine.
What?
Ooh. No, nothing. Shotgun. 12 gauge. Yes, I needed that for my shotty. Number 3, reload this. Make sure you have your guns reloaded.
They
What
are.
is that? Ooh, a hollow? Oh no, that's a tactical Scott. That's a tactical Scott Disick.
Wow, you legitimately got it like straight on, dog.
What? Oh, really?
Yeah, like straight on.
That was a freaking guess. That was a guess to the freaking Zetus Lapidus. That was a freaking guess. And no one is gonna ever know that reference ever.
Yo, Maverick, you can ask me whatever you want, boy. And Lace Blitz, I'm sorry that I said that.
What'd you say?
It's like, don't you say that about Jake Paul.
You didn't say it though. It was me.
I don't, yeah, but you know.
Ooh.
Sometimes I'm just too good of a friend and I take the blame for you. Oh, Madden this year? He's gonna have a freaking story mode, dog.
Oh, that's good. That's something
Yeah.
FIFA has had
That's
for a while.
freaking
And stuff.
awesome. That's something Madden hasn't had in forever.
Yeah.
So-
NHL's had it too, surprisingly.
I'm gonna do a playthrough of that. Like, they've had career mode
Yeah. Oh, okay.
where you can be your own player.
Oh,
and you
okay.
can, you know,
Never mind. NHL.
But they're gonna actually have a story.
Which is,
I don't know yet. The game hasn't come out.
I'm pretty sure FIFA's had story mode.
You're gonna be able to play as like a
One
rookie.
player. Yeah. Okay.
No, yeah, but like Madden has that where you can do that.
Yeah.
But
But
this time you're gonna be like a rookie and you're gonna have to like participate in like the combine.
yeah, and it's gonna have like legit cutscenes and stuff, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, because you like make your own. It's just
Yeah.
It's just kind
How's
of
it going,
vague.
silly? Hey, Maverick said, me and my friends are in a very tight situation, but would you subscribe to my YouTube channel right now?
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
how tight of a situation where you need freaking YouTube subs.
Yeah. No self promotion on my Yo, silly, we're gonna get off like after this game. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
For us, it's 3:30 a.m. right now, and we've been playing since 12
Yeah.
around. You've been playing since 12.
These godforsaken hills.
Yeah.
And plains. Luckily, we have cover on almost all sides.
I'm sorry,
Fishing
silly.
ourselves. Yeah, sorry, silly. He asked us that like
I know.
a while ago. Like at 12, he's like, "Can you play in 7 hours?" I was like,
Is
"Oh,
someone
crap."
shooting?
Yeah,
Where?
no idea. Over there. So where I am. Come where
Where's
I am.
over there?
Oh, I have no idea. I think he has a. I think I'm safe right here. So let's run this way.
Nope. Other side.
You sure?
Nope. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm over here. I haven't
I
been
got
shot
hit,
at
though.
lately. Let's go. I have a freaking good gun. This is the first time I found the M416.
Maverick, no
You didn't
no
tell.
self promotion.
I didn't see that alpha. God. Yeah, so he's way over there. Back to the freaking ruins, Helvete. No, don't go that way.
Let's just get in a house.
Let's go to this. Oh
I
God.
want to go to the ruins.
Yeah, godforsaken water village. The water tribe.
And
Oh,
I have
I
a
hate the water
really good gun.
We're still in the place. Yeah, I have a good gun. I have the M416 too. And you have the car.
What about over here? Come.
Oh,
Oh shoot. Where?
back there. Crap, I'm dead.
Where?
150 southeast. Southeast. Don't shoot me again. Oh, I'm dead. Don't go that way, yeah. Hindsight's 2020. Oh snap, I'm spectating you. Yo, you only have 3 shots left. Oh man, you got him. It's lagging so bad in my screen. I don't even know who's shooting at you. Oh, that guy. Oh,
someone
from
came
multiple
behind me.
sides, yeah.
Oh, someone was in that building.
Oh wow, that's probably the guy who killed me. There's like shooting still
Can
where
we
you're
do one
at.
more?
No, not me. You do it, boy.
No,
I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
I don't want
They're so long.
Yeah, that one was like 5 minutes.
That one was like 20.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Damn it, told you. Freaking alpha.
1, please. Yo, Silly, do you want to play real quick?
That one was like
What is-
15.
Silly, 1 game. Are you still here, boy? Make it quick. I'm just not happy with that game, dog. Come on, end like that.
I am.
I think I'm better than you at that game. Shut up, brother. No, you're not.
Next, I think item. Oh, he is. I am.
I am, yeah.
Freaking Eric.
Oh,
Apparently not-
only in 1 hour, dang.
Yeah.
Can you play one more?
No.
Not at all?
I mean, I could, but I don't want to.
It's just a yes or no.
I accidentally clicked on Eric Rapping's video.
It's a yes or no.
Yes or no? What?
Do you want to play one more?
What?
Do you
Sorry, I
want to
was
play one
listening.
more yes or no?
I don't.
Accurate.
Okay, there it is, guys. Stream's over.
Accurate.
You know, I'm just not feeling accurate.
I know.
It's a real
We'll play tomorrow, silly.
accurate.
Yeah. See, Robbie said that was 6 minutes.
No, I checked. It was
don't
15.
I don't add anyone on Discord, Rody.
It wasn't. It was 6. It was 15. I checked.
You have to like get streams
Since
to
I
add
died.
you. All right,
I don't know
guys.
if I want to do that.
We love you with all my heart.
Especially because he
Lexington
did the
loves
Lenny
you.
face.
I love you. I want you guys to, you know, stay beautiful, stay sexy. We stream almost every day. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn on post notifications because we do stream every single day. What do you mean, silly? What, Maxis? How about me? What?
Oh, add me on Discord. Guys.
Yeah, I don't add people on Discord.
Yeah.
That's Sphinx's department.
I don't know, and I don't know if that's.
Yeah. See you later, guys. We love you with all our heart.
Yeah. Peace
Stay
out.
beautiful. Stay awesome. Stay sexy. Peace.